Introduction to the Water Margin of Destiny. Traveling through Chengtuota, the Heavenly King Chao Gai opened his eyes and saw the 100,000 guan birth chart in front of him. In 10 days, the government will come to arrest him. 10 years later, Daikin will invade and massacre. Is it escaping? Kneeling? Is it anti? Is it licking? The hatred between family and country has not yet dissipated, blood is not yet cold, a person is already angry. In our national dictionary, there should not only be cowardice, forbearance, compromise, and escape, but also courage, justice, passion, and counterattack. Create a big rebellion. There's nothing to say. Chapter 1. King Tota. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chao Yu has been graduating from university for 5 years and has been seeking employment in various places. A year ago, he refused to give up and squeezed into the magic city. He wakes up at 6 o'clock every day, washes up, takes a bus, transfers to the subway, and runs all the way to his workplace. At 9 o'clock in the evening, he returns the same way, eats some snacks, takes a shower, and lies in bed at around 11 o'clock. 7 days a week, day after day. I wonder what year the holiday is. Chao Yao wants to make a name for himself. Chao Yao is full of fighting spirit. Chao Yu felt angina in the middle of the night. Chao Yu had a dream, full of sweetness. I live in a wealthy family with 100 hectares of fertile land, and my family is rich and wealthy, wearing silk and satin, eating chicken, duck, and fish. Inviting 3 or 5 friends to listen to music while idle. On a whim, I found 5 or 6 companions to dance with guns and sticks. At the height of their spirits, they gathered 7, 8, or 9 sons to get drunk. How happy life is! Suddenly, a group of officials broke into the house and captured themselves with hooks and shouted, "Chao Gai, your incident has happened." What happened to me? What happened? Chao Yen felt a moment of confusion. Big brother, I'm late. I saw a short black man rushing towards me in 3 steps and 2 steps. Chao Yen reached out to pick it up, but the black dwarf dodged and missed it. He clasped his fists in front of the official and said, "Brother I'm late. Is the treasure really here? Must be here. The villain is unjustly accused." Chao Yen quickly defended himself. Officials and officials, regardless of their duties, provide a one-stop service to complete tasks such as home theft, imprisonment, trial, and deportation to the execution ground in the blink of an eye. Chao Yao had just returned to his senses and found himself at the entrance of the market, with the executioner's ghost knife raised high. "Wait a minute, brother. I still have 100 yuan in my pocket." Chao Yen panicked. "Foolish, even killing you is my money." The executioner doesn't listen to advice at all. "Where is my confidant?" Chao Yu is already speechless. "Pushi." "Ah." Chao Yu shouted and sat up, sweating profusely. He then opened his eyes and found himself lying on a grand tutor's chair under a grape trellis, surrounded by several big men who were playing punches and guessing wine orders. A scholar with a fair face said, "Brother woke up, but had a nightmare. Let's have some sobering soup." As he spoke, he filled a bowl of pig liver soup in a white porcelain bowl and brought it up close. Chao Yen wiped a cold sweat off his forehead and looked around in surprise. At this moment it was evening, and under the lush grape trellis lay an 8 immortals table, stacked with chicken, duck, fish, and meat, as well as 7 crooked wine bottles. For strong men, bare-chested, were piecing together wine. 8 horses, 5 queens, and 6 or 6. A thin and weak man flattered the wine jar and cheered, creating a proper atmosphere. A long-bearded Taoist held a wine bowl and sipped it lightly, seeming quite proud. The Beijing scholar approached him with pig liver soup. Based on Chao Yu's extensive knowledge gained from years of being single, he immediately concluded that he must have traveled through time. "I don't know, I'm only 28 years old and in my prime. I've been traveling far and wide, and I've finally found a foothold in the magic city. Although I'm still a social animal and haven't made it out yet, I'm not used to this sudden return from a high-tech magic city to a closed and backward feudal era. Thank you, my dear brother. Chao Yu has honed a bit of the language skills of talking to people, talking to ghosts, and talking to ghosts when running errands. In order to avoid being noticed by others, he tried to imitate the tone of ancient people and blend in with the scene in front of him. They call me older brother, indicating a close relationship. If they find something unusual, who knows what crazy things they will do. Look at the 4 strong men who are making wine. Some have yellow bile hairs on their chest and transverse ribs on their back. Eyes emit cold light, some have eyes like copper bells, pomegranate flowers at their temples, and green leopards piercing their chests. Some people have a jagged face with strange flesh, delicate eyes protruding from their eyes, and black spots on their bodies, as if they were made of iron. Some have a purple-black broad face, with cinnabar marks on their temples, covered in black and yellow hair, red hair all over their heads, and red whiskers all over their faces. They don't seem like good people. Can I resist if they beat me up? Chao Yu secretly estimated to himself, my body seems quite strong. Chao Yen finished drinking pig liver soup in 2 or 3 bites and stood up. I touched my chest, my muscles were wide and wide, twisted the waist and abdomen were thick and sturdy, shaked his arm, as if he had 1,000 pounds of strength. I looked around and found myself half a head short. After touching and collapsing, the capital is even stronger. Chao Yu was secretly pleased, his confidence increased by 3 points, and his timidity decreased by 60%. Suddenly, a torrent of memory rushed in, like a sudden enlightenment, causing Chao Yao to sway slightly for a while, and also allowing him to receive the memories of his predecessor and understand the current situation. I have traveled through time, and today is the world of the great Song dynasty. The official Zhao Ji, with the reign name Qinghe, is now in the 5th year of Qinghe. My surname is Chao and my name is Gai. I am Bao Zheng from Dongxi village near the city of Yinchuan County. The day before yesterday, I, along with several companions, robbed Liang Zhongshu of the Daming mansion of the birthday outline that was given to the current Grand Tutor Kai Jing. Today, people who have made a lot of money are drinking big bowls of wine, eating meat in large gulps, and celebrating wildly. Me, am I getting rich now? What is the concept of 100,000 gold and silver jewelry? It has always been 1,000 yuan, and 100,000 guan is 100 million yuan. Yun Gu, a pear vendor friend at Wuhan University, earns 30.50 yuan a day to support his father. Ordinary citizens can earn 1,500 to 1,800 yuan per month, which is enough to make a living. The monthly salary of the Tokyo Imperial Guard is 3,000 yuan, and the monthly salary of the Chaojia village guests is 500 yuan. I suddenly earned 1 billion. Are you saying Gao is not happy? Are you happy? However, Chao Yu, no, now he will be Chao Gala from now on. He remembers that nightmare and the memories of the water margin he has watched. Damn it, where is getting rich? This is deadly. According to the original trajectory, they thought they had a tight layout and were arrested by Jeju. He Tao discovered their tracks and brought people to capture them overnight. If it weren't for Song Jiang stabilizing the incoming people and spreading the news, Chao Gai and others would have been caught in a jar. Chao Gai was startled and sweated white hair all over his neck. He doesn't want to pin his life on the loyalty of Song Jiang. If he crosses over and causes a butterfly effect, and when he Tao comes to arrest him, Song Jiang becomes restless and doesn't go to the yamen to be on duty, won't his team end their lives? The initiative still needs to be in one's own hands. Chao Gai doesn't like to leave fate to others to decide. If the kidnappers hit a bomb on oneself, it will soon explode. With Chao Gai's personality, he would never beg the robbers for mercy, nor would he wait patiently for the bomb disposal expert to cut the blue line at the last second. He would choose to grab the robber's thigh and die with him. Paralyzed, pressing a bomb on oneself is equivalent to giving half of the control of the switch to oneself, and daring to threaten me. Let's all die together, blow up your grandchild. So, when Chao Gai instilled in his memory that he was in the process of robbing his wealth and facing arrest, his first thought was to firmly grasp the initiative and not be forced to go up Liangshan like in the original work. We can't celebrate every day anymore, it's a waste of time. Chao Gai pondered silently and said to the white-faced scholar beside him, who was his own intelligence advisor Wu Yong, "Scholar, now that wealth has been obtained, what are your plans for the next?" Zijuoxing Wu Yong lightly twisted his beard and said, "I am a fallen scholar and a rural teacher. I have no hope of success in my life. I thought that after being tempered, my heart has no waves. But now, despite suddenly becoming wealthy, there is still a sense of showing off and being arrogant in my heart. However, being extremely wealthy and reckless undoubtedly leads to setting fire in the dark at night, while children carry gold, which is the way to bring disaster. Therefore, it's better to spend a few months in peace at Brothers Manor, wait for the waves to calm down, and then go out to buy land." Chao Gai nodded and added a bowl of wine to him. Wu Yong is clear-headed and knows how to avoid disasters, but still harbors illusions about the future. What does the Taoist care about? Chao Gai turned again to enter the Yunlong Gongsun Qingdao. Gongsun Qing shook his turtle shell fan and said with a smile, "The wind is high and the waves are fast. It is advisable to hibernate until the sky is right. If you do not abandon the protection of integrity, please let me disturb you for a while longer." Chao Gai nodded and filled his wine bowl. Entering Yunlong is a fearless person who comes from afar to instigate him to rob his birth chart. He is a wandering Taoist with no fixed residence, really for the sake of that money. "What are your plans?" Chao Gai shouted loudly to the group of people in Qinghewu, saying that he couldn't be too polite to these rough people. The three brothers of the Wuhan family glanced at each other, put down their wine bowls, and clasped their fists, saying, "Bao Zheng has brought our brothers wealth, and this kindness is higher than heaven. I want to take the money back to show filial piety to my mother, make her eat and dress well, and buy a few rough maids to serve. In the future, I will protect myself, but I have orders. Send a message to Shiji village, and my three brothers will never refuse to die." Chao Gai nodded and filled the wine bowls for the three of them. All three of them are honest men, and once they make money, they want to go back to the village to show off and enjoy it with money. "Bao Zheng, I want to go back to the village tonight. I have been away for 2 days, and only my mother-in-law is at home to cover up. If someone finds out that I have been out for many days, there may be unfounded speculation." Bai Sheng, the daytime mouse, didn't wait for Chao Gai's inquiry before quickly arching his hand and saying. Chao Gai nodded and filled his wine bowl. Bai Sheng's image is sleazy, but he has a bit of courage and cleverness in his character. This time, he cleverly chose his birthday plan, and his ability to adapt to changing circumstances made the plan 70% successful. "Uncle, don't ask me, Lu Tang is a rough person. Since I recognize my uncle's family, I will live with you." Lu Tang, a red-haired ghost, was in his 20s and 60s, with red hair and a face full of vicissitudes. He looked even older than Chao Gai, who was in his 30s. Ever since he was falsely called his nephew by Chao Gai, he has been content to recognize this relative. Belonging to the intimate relationship of, "You call me brother, I call you uncle." Chao Gai smiled slightly and filled his wine bowl as well. "You all came to my dream of the 7-star gathering, and now that you have achieved great success, everyone is enjoying it." Chao Gai also raised his wine bowl, gestured from a distance, and looked up to drink it. "The degree is a bit low. Winning the drink. Winning the drink." Everyone drank a full bowl and revealed the bottom of the bowl. With a burning gaze, he looked at Chao Gai and knew he had something to say. "The birth chart is an unjust wealth, all for the benefit of the people. We took it in accordance with the will of heaven. Today, it will be divided into 2 parts. We have all contributed, so I will divide it into 8 equal parts, with each person taking 1 share at will. What do you think, wise brothers?" Chao Gai actually wanted to monopolize it, but it was too bad for his character and not conducive to his future plans. Simply divide and bribe people's hearts. No way. Wu Yong approached and gestured to the crowd before saying, "There are 100 people in our family, and one person is in charge. We can only obtain today's wealth thanks to Brother Chao Gai's gathering in leadership. My older brother bears a big responsibility. According to the rules of the martial arts world, the person in charge should take the big head, and the rest should be distributed to everyone. Brother, are you going to trap us in injustice?" Gong Sunsheng also smiled and said, "Mr. Jiaoyang's words make sense." Sheng traveled south from Jizhou in the Liao dynasty and met many martial arts figures, whether they were from the Great Liao or the Great Song. I have never heard of the principle of dividing the harvest equally between the principal and subordinates. To maintain integrity, we cannot be ignorant of any good or bad. If we really divide the big head equally and only leave 1 or 2% for Baozheng, wouldn't we not be ridiculed by the martial arts heroes for not understanding the rules and disregarding morality in the future? That's right, looking for Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan. Kong Lu Tang has been wandering the world for many years, and what I admire the most is his uncle, who is so generous. We all know that he doesn't value money, but if you don't take the big picture, how dare we take action to share that wealth? Lu Tang also advised beside him. Bai Xing didn't dare to speak. He thought that for a small character like himself to be sent away with a bag of property was a great stroke of luck. I didn't expect Baozheng to be so fair that he could even share the same benefits as the scholars and Taoist priests. No matter how you divide it, you have earned a lot. He also knows that his identity is low and he doesn't have much say, as long as he apologizes. The three brothers of the Wuhan family also felt that what everyone said was reasonable. There is no such thing as dividing subordinates equally with leaders. Bao Xinggao Yi, our brothers, and I have already benefited from you and made this wealth. How dare we be greedy? Please take a big head, Bao Zheng. The three sons of the Nguyen clan bowed their hands and said, "Brother, please take a big head. Please take the big head, Baozheng. Uncle, please take a big head." Well, the loyalty of all the wise brothers comes first. I can't break the rules and damage the reputation of my brothers, so I'll take 50%. The remaining 50% will be divided equally among the brothers. What do you think? Chao Gai did not hesitate upon seeing the situation and casually put forward new suggestions. You should be like this. Thank you very much, Bao Zheng. 100,000 guan of treasure, not 100,000 guan of copper coins, was not carefully examined by everyone, and they estimated that they had been divided. The three sons of the Wuhan family rushed back to Shiji village at night carrying 2 treasures. Bai Xing also carried a load of gold and silver back to Anil village. After they left, Chao Gai pulled Wu Yong, Gong Sunsheng, and Lu Tang into the house and said in a deep voice, "Young men, the day of death and genocide is approaching. May you help me turn the tide of heaven and earth." Chapter 2. I Want a Rebellion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Brother, why did you say this? Are you afraid of the pursuit of Liang Zhongshu and Kai Jing, the old thief? Last year, Liang Zhongshu's birth chart was hijacked and there has been no clue for a year. We just need to be cautious and get through the limelight. Wu Yong quickly spoke out to comfort. No way. Liang Zhongshu is a clown jumping off the beam, Kai Jingzhong is dead in the grave, how dare I take it seriously? Brother, I have another dream. Chao Gai decided to tell a lie. The ancients were generally superstitious, and using things that were talked about by gods and gods could easily deceive people. For example, Gong Sunsheng, who is close to him, would say when he meets that he can summon wind and rain, ride the clouds and mist, so he is nicknamed Yunlong. As a result, he was asked to pray for rain on the village, but it was difficult to resist. The Tota called flying in the clouds and driving in the mist is a method of using specially made gunpowder to create smoke bombs to deceive the eyes. Although it's fake, it's really scary. Chao Gai was also following suit and said, I dreamt that the fierce tiger from northeast China came out of a trap and attacked and destroyed the Liao kingdom. I dreamed that a fierce tiger attacked Song, and the emperor fell to the ground. I dreamed that the barbarians roamed freely, and the people were slaughtered. I dreamt that the land were sinking, and the ancestral temple was destroyed in the fishy smell. This. Wu Yong was immersed in the scene described by Chao Gai, feeling unbelievable. The great Song dynasty was still bustling and flourishing, and the great Liao dynasty was an incredibly powerful country of parents. How could it be possible for a country to fall apart? Gong Sun Sheng, however, widened his eyes and was inexplicably surprised. His master, Luo Zhenren, once said that the country was about to break down and asked him to go south in search of vitality. But it coincides with Chao Gai's words today. Is Chao Gai really the one who peeks through the destiny of heaven? Otherwise, why should we first enter the 7-star dream and gather people and horses to successfully seize the birth chart? Does it work today to predict the future? Uncle, what did you say about this dream? National affairs have their own emperor to worry about, it's none of our business. Lu Tang shook his red head and said indifferently. My dream was validated 10 years later. 10 years later, we have all married and had children, and our children are still young. You are willing to see your wife and daughter slaughtered. Are you willing to be the slaves of that lost country? The rise and fall of a country is the responsibility of every individual. This world is not dominated by his Zhao family, but by millions of Han people. The emperor kneels down to surrender, are you willing to kneel down to surrender too? Are you willing to be a slave to the fallen country, even if the emperor falls down and becomes a slave to the fallen country? Are you willing to offer your wife and daughter to Hu Lu for fun, even if the emperor's son offers them to Hu Lu for fun? Are you saying it's none of your business? Chao Gai angrily rebuked his nephew. Of course it's none of my business. With such a barbarian, I'll chop him up. With such an emperor, I'll turn against him. Uncle, what do you say? I'll follow you. Lu Tang was provoked by Chao Gai and suddenly felt angry. Brother, can your dream really be like this? Wu Yong couldn't believe it, but he didn't want to live that bloody life 10 years later. If it weren't for me, the future would be like this. If it were for me, the future would be promising. Chao Gai felt even more calm when he saw that even Zijuoxing had been blinded by his lies. My strategy succeeded. It seems that ancient people only love to eat feudal superstition. No wonder fish keep books, foxes bark, slaying white snakes, turtle and camel steals, and stone man's eyes emerge endlessly. What is my name? Dream comes out of a trap. What are Baozheng's plans? I am willing to sacrifice my life to follow him. Gong Sun Sheng saw Chao Gai's words being blunt, and thought of his master's advice, so he decided to continue betting on Chao Gai and make a big bet. I want to rebel. Chao Gai spoke frankly, and after finishing speaking, he scanned the crowd and observed their expressions. Everyone robbed the birth chart given to Kai Jing together, and once the situation was revealed, it was all the result of family theft and extermination. So we are not afraid of anyone leaking secrets. The reason why they want to avoid the limelight and enjoy wealth is because there is a precedent of last year's birthday gang being robbed, with a mentality of luck. But this is not in line with Chao Gai's interests. Laozi left 100 hectares of fertile land, dozens of manors, and countless servants of landlords and tycoons living a life of poverty. They all committed crimes together with you, and as a result, you all went from being poor to becoming millionaires. However, Laozi caused a lot of trouble. Why? Whoever wants to show loyalty to me, I'll be in a hurry with him. In the era of the water margin, the rise of heroes had great potential. At this time, Wanyan from the deep mountains and forests of northeast China has just launched a rebellion against Liaoning this year. At this time, the rise of the samurai class in Japan was being rectified by Yoshiyuki, laying the foundation for the establishment of the shogunate. At this time, the kingdom of Angkor reached its heyday under the rule of Suliapa II, controlling most of the Indochinese peninsula and was known as the Khmer Empire. At this time, the Seljuk Empire became the world's largest empire, defeating Byzantium and proclaiming itself the king of the East and West, triggering the First Crusade to the East. At this time, Baldwin I established a kingdom in Jerusalem. How could I be willing to be a wealthy man in such a wonderful world? Even if I follow the original trajectory and become the master of Liangshan, I am not satisfied. Since I accidentally came to this world, I naturally want to have a big fight. Whoever loves to be a loyal minister of the weak Song dynasty, I want to be a villain. Ding, congratulations to the host for confirming their destiny. The destiny system has been activated. Oh, there really is a system. The standard gold finger for the traveler has been credited. Name: Chao Gai, Tota Heavenly King, height 189 centimeters, weight 99 kilograms, destiny 0, the direction of the people, the fate of heaven plus 0 points / month, chi and blood 156 out of 156, health bar is not empty, life is endless, stamina is not exhausted, battle is endless, plus 1 point / minute, spirit 1880/1880, unity of essence and spirit, unity of heaven and earth, plus 1 point / minute, command 62, command is steady, force 94, brave and brave, intelligence 54, open-minded, politics 46, painting pancakes, fishing, treating guests, charm 88, righteous and virtuous, moral model, characteristic infinite power. Angry that the earth has no ring to grasp, only able to lift the pagoda every day. Transaction license. Possesses the privilege to trade with the mall anytime, anywhere, and comes with 6 spaces for personal use. Essence plunder. You can earn a certain profit from killing an enemy. Skills. Fist and foot LV5, knife LV5, iron bone LV5, mighty LV5, speaking LV1, equestrian LV1. I am truly a reckless man in the martial arts world with this attribute. Command, intelligence, and politics are all average. But as a rural tycoon, how much higher can you expect? A force of 94 points is also considered among the top skilled players, coupled with one's own steel and iron bones and towering Tota strength, it is difficult to have an opponent in battle. This is also the biggest capital for survival in this chaotic world. Chao Gai looked at Wu Yong and others again. Name: Wu Yong, Zijuoxing, height 176 centimeters, weight 69 kilograms, command 55 force 31 intelligence 96 politics 85 charm 79 affinity. Clothes, green, characteristic. Zijuoxing, frowning, scheming, skills. Poetry LV3, script LV4, meteor hammer LV3, insight LV5, divination LV3, disguise LV3. Wu Yong is worthy of the reputation of being a wise and talented person, with exceptional intelligence. He is admirable in both military and domestic affairs, but his character is a bit malicious and his tactics are somewhat insidious, so his charm is slightly lacking. Continue to observe. Name: Gong Sun Sheng, entering Yunlong, height 187 centimeters, weight 86 kilograms, command 42 force 76 intelligence 87 politics 81 charm 84 affinity. Clothes, green, features. Fairy demeanor and strong character, full of energy in admiration, skills. Prayer LV5, magic LV4, script LV3, fist and feet LV3, swordsmanship LV3, disguise LV2. Gong Sun Sheng is equally intelligent, but he has a lazy personality, so he is not good at military and domestic affairs. However, he comes from an authentic Taoist school, and with his immortal demeanor, he is admirable, willing to get close, and has great charm. Continue to observe. Name: Lu Tang, red-haired ghost, height 186 centimeters, weight 97 kilograms, command 59 force, 89 intelligence, 42 politics, 43 charm, 31 affinity. Worship, green, characteristic. Clear and imaginative mind, with a hint of deceit in recklessness, and cunning hidden in simplicity. Skills: Park knife LV5, fist and feet LV3, running LV4. Lu Tang, like himself, is also a reckless man, but he has been wandering the rivers and lakes all year round, with friends from all corners of the world. He has been wandering in the treacherous and black shop-filled rivers and lakes for so long, somewhat like the second brother of Mao. Although reckless, he is also somewhat cunning, although cunning and kind-hearted, ordinary people in the rivers and lakes really cannot play with him. Chao Gai couldn't help but compare their attributes with his own. Several differences were discovered. Firstly, they have no destiny value. Well, consolidating people's hearts into wealth, perhaps only I, the son of fate, truly qualify. Secondly, they do not have blood bars. Thirdly, they lack mental strength. Fourthly, they have an additional affinity term. Seeing their affinity in his own closeness, Chao Gai pondered and began to feel uneasy. Glancing at the crowd, he slowly said, "In today's world, although it may seem like a blooming flower, in reality, it is boiling with fire. A foolish ruler cultivates immortality, a greedy and cunning scholar and warrior be ruthless internally and bow humbly externally. Strong mergers and collusion between officials and businesses. Landlord expansion, petty officials seizing land. The market is full of scoundrels and black shops are everywhere. Officials forcing people to rebel, with countless holes and sores. 10 years later, there will be a greater risk of national extinction. I vow to rebel and seize the flag, change this humiliating fate, and pave a way for my descendants in the future. However, a single thread cannot form a thread, and a solitary wood cannot form a forest. I need like-minded friends to support me and work together for great success. The three wise brothers are all heroes of the time, may I lend a helping hand." Chao Gai used the art of drawing pancakes. Wu Yong said, "My older brother has great ambitions and lofty aspirations, but my younger brother can only follow and contribute a little bit of wisdom." Gong Sun Sheng said, "My brother obeys the heavens and the stars will shine brightly. I am also willing to work with my brother to achieve great things that will change the world." Lu Tang: "Me too." Chao Gai said, "Okay. 4 people with one heart, yellow earth turns into gold. With you following, it's like adding wings to a tiger." Wu Yong said, "I swear to share weal and woe with my brother, to live and die together." Gong Sun Sheng said, "I am willing to do my best for my brother and never give up." Lu Tang: "Me too." Wu Yong said, "If you violate this oath, heaven and humanity will detest it together." Gong Sun Sheng said, "With Yu's words, heaven and man will slaughter together." Lu Tang: "Me too." Good. 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 I, Chao Gai, have brothers like this. I don't want anything more. May I wait sharing blessings and facing difficulties together. Liver and gallbladder complement each other, heat and blood share the same territory. Never part, never give up, no illness, no injury. Remember the oath, the heavens are above. Wu Yong, Gong Sun Sheng, and Lu Tang also bowed their hands and recited the message, sharing blessings together. Find a book garden www.zhaoshuyuan.com to share difficulties with. Liver and gallbladder complement each other, heat and blood share the same territory. Never leave, never give up, no illness, no injury. Remember the oath, the heavens are above. Ding, Wuyong is grateful for the host's friendship, and the affinity has increased to 82. It meets the conditions for people's hearts to absorb. Ding, Gong Sun Sheng is grateful for the host's friendship, and the affinity has increased to 81. It meets the conditions for people's hearts to absorb. Ding, Lu Tang is grateful for the host's friendship, and his affinity has increased to 99. It meets the conditions for people's hearts to consume. Ding, congratulations on the host's destiny value increasing by 6/month. Heaven rewards diligence, please continue to work hard. Chao Gai's heart was moved. It turned out that the destiny value came from this way. I vaguely saw 6 strands of white silk floating out of their heads and merging in. Why is it 6 o'clock for 3 people? Moreover, seeing the affinity between Wu Yongna 82 and Gong Sunsheng 81, Chao Gai fell into contemplation. Just now, I was so passionate and sincere that I thought you were all too friendly towards me. So, this is it. It can only be said that cultured people are quite capable of disguising, no wonder they have a disguising item in their skill bar. That is to say, Lu Tang, an honest person, is more sincere, shouting "uncle" in his mouth, and his affinity has reached 99%. It's almost full. If there were no system, these details would not have been discovered. Chao Gai's abdominal slander will not be mentioned for the time being. Wu Yong, Gong Sunsheng, and Lu Tang felt a warm current flowing through their bodies, their pores opening up and their bodies feeling comfortable. There was also an indescribable gaze hanging in the sky. This is. The 3 of them were surprised. It's hard to say, there's no need to ask. Actually, Chao Gai is not sure, but it doesn't prevent him from putting on a beep first. Chapter 3. Settle down and make a living. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Late at night, unable to sleep alone. The excitement of crossing over has not dissipated yet. At the same time, I feel a bit depressed. At the age of 28 in the Chinese era, I already felt like an elderly youth, constantly being urged by my parents to get married. At the end of the year, I feel so worried that I wish I could rent a girlfriend and go home to deal with various criticisms. It's better now, crossing over is not as good as before. Others are becoming younger and more handsome, with younger sisters, widows, and fiancés. I have grown 8 years old out of thin air, with a beard all over my face, and I am still a single man who is not close to women and loves fitness. In ancient times, people could get married at the age of 16 or 17, while Chao Gai was still alone at the age of 30.6, which is really incomprehensible and not without money. Tall, handsome, and wealthy, he still has at least 2 advantages. If it were in Korea, why would there have to be a group of little girls around shouting "Uncle, Oba, Oni sauce"? At this point, a group of burly men surrounded and shouted, "Brother, Bao Zheng, good brother." Forget it, we're used to it anyway. I still have to thank the original owner for the extraordinary hand speed he has trained for me after being single for 36 years. Let's figure out our future path. Today, with a little bit of lip service that I have honed through running my own business, and the golden fingers earned from my strong character, I barely managed to get through the adaptation period when I first wore it. Now, with the system in hand and my strong skills, I am no longer afraid of being doubted by others. Who dares to say that I am not Chao Gai? Give him a big pussy first. Ask him, do you recognize who I am? Once the safety issue is resolved, the next step is to take action. Don't be fooled by Chao Gai and Wu Yong's talk of righteousness and serving the country and the people. In fact, 10 years later, the invasion of the Jin dynasty was a long-term problem, and the urgent task was to solve the aftermath of the birth chart. If this problem is not solved, not to mention whether one can live in 10 years or 10 days. On the 3rd day of June, the zodiac chart was taken. Today is the 5th day of June. According to the journey of over 400 miles from Jeju Prefecture to Daming Prefecture, the old governor and staff of Daming Prefecture will run back to Daming Prefecture for at least 4 days. Liang Zhongshu sent a message back to the residents of Grand Tutor Kai in Bianliang, reporting that it would take 2 days to ride a horse. It will take another 2 days for Kai Jing from Bianliang City to dispatch officials to Jeju Prefecture to supervise and investigate the case. There is an 8-day gap inside and outside. I have wasted 2 days celebrating with my own party, and now there is only a 6-day safety period left. If you want to continue being a wealthy man, you just need to secretly kill He Tao's younger brother He Qing, and you can cut through the loopholes and clues. With the corrupt officials in Jeju Prefecture, it's impossible to solve the case. Time will pass. But doing so poses significant risks. Perhaps one day in the future, rumors will leak out. The old thief Kai Jing doesn't care whether there is evidence or not. If there is suspicion, he can kill himself. So, being a person still needs to be decisive, slow to react, and slow to react. Then take the initiative to rebel. The current question is, how can we use this 6-day safety period to maximize our own benefits? It seems that I have to be so after some planning, Chao Gai fell asleep. He began to dream again, in which he roamed the Milky Way and the stars turned into fireflies flying around him, magnificent and magical. 3 of the stars were particularly bright. Curiously, Chao Gai reached out and took off 3 of them, placing them in his palm, and leaned in front of him to observe. Bright stars, like glass balls, wrapped around 3 cartoon characters, curled up and hugging their legs in a deep sleep. Haha, it looks quite cute. Chao Gai let go and let the stars drift away, continuing to appreciate the beautiful Milky Way, unconsciously returning to silence. Wu Yong woke up with a sweat all over his head. He had just dreamt of a sky-like head bowing down to examine himself, which frightened him into curling up in a ball and he dared not move. That head looks a bit like Brother Chao. Is it that today's oath has been fulfilled, and the heavens are really paying attention? Wu Yong and Chao Gai grew up together since childhood, and their friendship lasted for more than 30 years, and they knew each other's roots and depths. Chao Gai has changed a bit today, he can feel it. But he dare not say. The person who is destined by fate is always somewhat different from ordinary people. Although he is intelligent, his personality is weak. Being alone puts pressure on him, and he prefers to climb like a vine on a big tree. The taller the tree, the higher the vines can climb. Following a lord who is destined by fate may not necessarily be a clear path. This peaceful world, which makes me unable to even pass the imperial examination, is grand and magnificent. I really want to smash it. Thinking of this, Wu Yong felt suddenly enlightened and his thoughts became more accessible. At the same time, Gong Sunsheng also opened his eyes. He is a cultivator who is more sensitive to certain things. Master Luo Zhenren once said, "In today's world, true gods do not emerge and the Tao does not manifest. The so-called miracles are all tricks of pretending to be gods and playing ghosts. But there is still fate lingering in the dark. In the prosperous era of the dynasty, the destiny lies in stability, and Taoist priests hide in the deep mountains and remain silent. In the end of the dynasty, the destiny was to quell chaos. Taoist priests went down the mountain to search for hidden dragons and quell the chaos. The master allowed himself to descend the mountain not only to avoid danger, but also to seek the hidden dragon in order to gain the merit of calming the chaotic world. I have seen many heroes all the way south, but only Chao Gai surprised him. Robbing the birth chart is a test and a step for him to confirm his destiny. The towering giant Chao Gai in his dream still holds great power, making him 100% certain that fate is truly here. My merits have been recognized. After the task is completed, I can also at this moment. Lu Tang was opening the window wide, snoring like thunder, and sleeping soundly. There was nothing to say overnight. The next morning, the biological clock used to work was activated and I woke up at 6 o'clock on time. Chao Gai stood up in confusion and reached out to touch the toothpaste and toothbrush on the bedside table, ready to wash up. As a result, after feeling empty, I suddenly realized that I was no longer in the era of the Heavenly Dynasty, and now it was the end of the Northern Song Dynasty. Although we have traveled through time, the season remains the same. In June, the weather outside the window has slightly brightened, and the sound of sweeping the floor is likely due to servants cleaning the courtyard. Ding, Wu Yong is grateful for the host's great kindness, with an affinity of +10. Ding, Gong Sunsheng is grateful for the host's destiny, with an affinity of +10. Ding, Lu Tang is grateful for the host's kindness, with an affinity of +1. 3 consecutive noises made Chao Gai also confused. What did I do last night? Are the 3 of them reacting so strongly? Dress neatly. The maid brought some hot water from a copper basin to wash Chao Gai's face, comb his hair, tie his hair, and rinse his mouth with fine salt. After some twists and turns, Chao Gai looked at the bronze mirror and his eyes lit up. It must be said that although Chao Gai was already 30.6 years old, he had a good appearance. There are 9 similarities with LV Liangwei. His face is resolute, with sword eyebrows and starry eyes, and his beard adds a third of maturity and stability. With a grin and snow-white teeth. A blue ribbon tied up hair braids and draped over the shoulders, a blue round-necked robe, a jade belt tied around the waist, and soap blue fast boots on the feet. Chao Gai couldn't help but smile narcissistically at the mirror. After admiring it, he said to the maid beside him, "Thank you very much." The maid looked panicked and said, "It's good if the master likes it." She lowered her head and remained silent. What a strange girl, Chao Gai thought to himself. Get up and walk outside, push open the wooden door in the outer room, and at a glance, you can see the courtyard. The wide courtyard is like the small playground of the school in the past, paved with square blue bricks. A group of servants dressed up were sweeping with brooms, while several burly women carrying buckets walked back and forth between the wellhead and the kitchen. There were not many flowers and plants in the courtyard, but there were many towering trees. It seems that this Chao mansion has been an ancient residence for some time. Upon hearing the roars coming from the north of the courtyard, I thought for a moment that it was the martial arts training ground where the armed manners at home practice daily. Chao Gai twisted his neck with a loud bang. I want to go to the martial arts training ground for morning practice. As they walked along, everyone saw Chao Gai and lowered their heads to call him master. When we arrived at the martial arts training ground, we saw a piece of flat land with 100-step square, paved with yellow soil. Weapon racks were placed on both sides of the field, but only some sticks and simple knives were placed on top. A group of muscular men with bare upper bodies are punching, splitting legs, and swinging stone locks. It made Chao Gai feel like he was going back to the gym in his previous life. Master. The great men bowed to Chao Gai one after another. The so-called banker refers to the people who have no land in their homes and rely on the landlord to make a living. It's just a little more freedom than a servant who sells himself. Chao Gai's family has 100 hectares of fertile land and is the largest landlord in Dongxi village. A grand estate naturally requires many people to maintain. A farmer who is willing to farm becomes a tenant. Those who are unwilling to farm will choose some young and strong individuals to practice martial arts with Chao Gai, which can be considered as armed manners. Chao Gai Zhuang, relying on these more than 50 armed manners, can also be considered a faction. When robbing the birth chart, these manners were not allowed to participate because they were a family, not strict with their mouths, and afraid of revealing the truth. Chao Gai took off his coat and revealed his body made of refined iron, full of lumps and muscles. When punching, it's lively and agile. As the drill progressed, Chao Gai gradually gained control of the muscular memory of this body. An hour later, Chao Gai changed into weapons again. A long-handled simple knife, making it airtight and preventing water from splashing in. Good martial arts. Brother's simple sword technique is truly remarkable. Wu Yong, Gong Sunsheng, and Lu Tang came together and cheered at the edge of the martial arts practice field. Ha ha ha, it's not worth mentioning the small skill of carving insects. Chao Gai felt a movement and felt comfortable all over. It seems that muscular men really prefer the training ground. Chao Gai handed his knife to a banker beside him, and after 2 hours of fun, it was time to get down to business. Chao Gai and his 4 companions sat down in the big house, and the family served breakfast. Everyone was chatting while eating. According to our plan yesterday, since we are going to rebel, we need to find a foundation. I intend to settle in Liangshan Lake. Chao Gai didn't show any concern, nor did he falsely consult the opinions of the 3 of them, and directly expressed his own thoughts. The imperial court was incompetent, and the Yellow River overflowed and could not be controlled. The river flowed in, and the originally fertile fields turned into water bodies, forming a water pool spanning 800 miles across several counties in Jeju and Dongping. In the water pool, there is a high mountain named Liangshan, and this water pool is named after Liangshan. There are also 7 branches around Liangshan, including Qinglong Mountain, Phoenix Mountain, Guishan Mountain, Huda Peak, Snow Mountain Peak, Hao Mountain Peak and Little Mount Huangshan Mountain. Liangshan is beautiful, surrounded by pine and cypress forests, and has a strong sense of feng shui. It is surrounded by peaks, with dragons and tigers crouching on a winding mountain range. The slope steps and terraces are built, surrounded by bays and lakes before and after. The main peak of Liangshan has 7 branches, which can garrison tens of thousands of soldiers. There is abundant fishing in the 800-mile water area, and it is also suitable for silting up the land to cultivate rice. It's a good place to go. Chao Gai finished speaking and looked at the crowd. Wu Yong nodded, which coincided with his idea. Before the Jiesheng Qinggang, Wu Yong had been interested in Liangshan Park when he invited Ruan Sanxiong. Brother, now a group of strong men are stationed on Liangshan. The leader is a scholar, known as Wang Luan, a scholar in white. The second one is called Touching the Heavenly Du Qian, the third one is called Yinli Diamond Song Wan. Here is a dryland monk named Zhu Gui, who runs a hotel at the entrance of Lijiadao and specializes in inquiring about things. Now there is a new hero, who is the commander of the Tokyo Forbidden Army. What kind of leopard head Lin Chong is, very skilled in martial arts. These thieves and men gathered 500 to 700 people, raiding homes and houses, and seizing guests who came and went. If we want to settle in Liangshan, we need to first get rid of that group of strong people. What Wu Yong is thinking now is not to join the gang, but to occupy the magpie's nest. I had anticipated it earlier, Chao Gai said. Wang Luan was narrow-minded, jealous of the wise and capable, but he became the leader of the village based on his relationship with Zhangzhou's little whirlwind Chai Jin. When leopard head Lin Chong joined Liangshan, he made things difficult and had deep conflicts. Today, the scholar and wise brother brought 2,000 taels of gold and silver to Shiji village to seek the escort of the Ruan family brothers and went to Liangshan to worship the mountain, seeking an opportunity to separate the relationship between Lin Chong and Wang Luan. 3 days later, I brought my own banker to worship the mountain again and took the mountain fortress in one fell swoop. Gong Sun Sheng shook his turtle shell fan and analyzed, will taking someone's foundation be criticized by the martial arts world? And that little whirlwind Chai Jin, I'm afraid it's not good. Looking on the face. Chao Gai waved his hand and said, we rob the rich to help the poor, which is the right way. They rob families and houses, which is the wrong way. What is the morality of the martial arts world to talk to these evil demons and crooked ways? Little Whirlwind is far away in Sangzhou, and he doesn't care about our affairs in Jizhou. I will visit him from the meeting to explain a few things. In the early stages of entrepreneurship, one should not be indecisive. Chao Gai just wants to be a double-standard dog in a grand manner. Brother Yunlong, your task is quite heavy. You need to leave the village with 20,000 guan of gold and silver in the near future, and go around the county town around Liangshanpo to purchase some restaurants, inns, and shops. Buy what you like. As our future eyes, please keep it confidential. If you hear that we are wanted by the government, don't worry, go to Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Give you 1 month, and we will meet again. Chao Gai also found some trusted subordinates to help Gong Sunsheng. Brother, rest assured that victory will not disappoint what you have entrusted. Gong Sunsheng saw Chao Gai entrust 20,000 guan of money, his heart stirred, and he bowed with an arch. Ding, Gong Sunsheng expresses gratitude for the host's trust, with an affinity of +3. Chao Gai smiled and patted Gong Sunsheng's shoulder. Capable and loyal, I can rest assured of your actions. Brother, let's work together. We can't all ask you to contribute money. I have received 7,000 guan, and I am willing to contribute to help brother achieve great things. Wu Yong arched his hand and said. I am also willing to offer. Uncle, I am also willing to offer it. Gong Sunsheng and Lu Tang were unwilling to fall behind even when they saw the situation. They are not inherently greedy, they have food and drink, and do not care about the amount of money. There's no need to mention this matter again. Chao Gai waved his hand and refused. In my lifetime, the 4 words of justice and righteousness are the most important in my actions. Since I promised to share with you, it is your private property. There is no right to take it back. I am the one in charge of the rebellion now, and I am the one responsible for it. Don't say too much if we retrieve the money of Wu Yong and his 3 companions, should we recover the money of Ruan's 3 sons and Bai Sheng. If we chase it back, will we still have a good reputation? If not recovered, why let those who are close to oneself suffer losses? You can't bully honest people. Wu Yong and the others stopped mentioning Chao Gai's resolute attitude. But in my heart, I increasingly believe that following a fair elder brother is such a correct choice. Ding, Wu Yong's affinity +1. Ding, Gong Sunsheng's affinity +1. Chapter 4. Planning for the Future. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After finishing breakfast, Wu Yong and Gong Sunsheng dared not delay their time and prepared to depart early. As for Lu Tang, he became angry when he saw him, with a head of red hair, like a non-mainstream figure in the Song dynasty. He waved his hand and urged him to quickly return to his room to stay. Afterwards, Chao Gai called his butler Fubo and the treasurer Kaishu. These 2 people were originally the confidants of Chao Gai in the Chao family estate, and they were not allowed to participate in the robbery of the birth chart. But if they are plagiarized, none of them can escape, so affinity can still be guaranteed. Upon closer inspection, it is indeed true that the affinity between the 2 is above 90. Fans +2, destiny +4. You can use it with confidence. Chao Gai arranged for Fubo to divide the 100 hectares of land in his home, making it difficult to move away fixed assets. Instead of giving it to the government at a cheaper price, it would be better to distribute it to fellow villagers and buy people's hearts. The Chao family is divided into 50 hectares, and although many people wear 5 costumes, they are all surnamed Chao. The Chao family ancestral hall is divided into 20 hectares, used by the clan to support the elderly and take care of the lonely and impoverished. The banker in the house is divided into 15 hectares, after all, they follow themselves in one scene. The village is divided into 15 hectares by fellow villagers, in order to maintain the friendship of all fellow villagers. The servants of the Chao family are deeply involved with themselves. If they are wanted, they will also be implicated and punished. It's better to go up the mountain together and be safe. Master, the Chao family's century-old foundation has just scattered like this. Butler Fubo is over 60 years old and has served the Chao family for 2 generations. Watching the wealth gradually accumulated by the Chao family disappear, he still feels reluctant. The old won't go, the new won't come, Fubo, believe me. Chao Gaiwen said in a voice. Some of their own decisions may not be accepted by the elderly at the moment, but they will understand them in the future. The land deed is well written and kept confidential for the time being. It will be shared with everyone in a few days. Do not follow the wind. Chao Gai cautioned. The old servant naturally woke up. Fubo said, they both prosper and suffer with their master. Seeing that Chao Gai had made up his mind, he no longer advised him. Uncle Kaishu, how much cash is left in the accounting room at home? Chao Gai turned his head to look at his wealthy uncle in charge of the warehouse and said. There are also 20 taels of gold, 200 taels of silver, and 3,000 guan of copper coins. Kaishu refers to the wealth accumulated by the Chao family over the years. The money in the birthday program did not involve the wealthy uncle. What about rice and grain? My granary contains 10,000 stones of corn, 5,000 stones of sorghum, 20,000 stones of wheat, and 3,000 stones of rice. Other miscellaneous grains are 1,000 stones. The wealthy man revealed that there were big grain merchants in Bianliang who came to purchase, and I had old grain merchants who could sell grain at high prices. You will transport all your household grain to Shiji village for loading. Purchase coarse grains, fine grains, and salt from all over the place, and transport all 3,000 guan of gold, silver, and copper coins from home to Shiji village. After some mental calculation, the wealthy man said, nowadays in the territory of Shandong, the price of coarse grains is around 600 won per stone, and the price of rice is around 2,000 won per stone. The price difference is very large. Salt is stable, at 61 per kilogram, which has not changed for many years. If you don't choose a taste, it's better to buy more coarse grains, which can be around 10,000 stones. Okay. I'll give you another 20,000 guan of jewelry and buy it as coarse grain, Chao Gai replied. In the future, these grains will be hard currency, and transporting them to Liangshan can stabilize military morale. And what kind of fine grain do a group of bandits eat? Can eat enough. Fubo and Kaishu went out to work. Chao Gai also calmed down and opened the character panel, pondering over his own system. Name. Chao Gai, Tota Heavenly King, height. 189 centimeters weight. 99 kilograms destiny. 0, the will of the people, the fate of heaven plus 10 points / month, chi and blood. 156 out of 156, health bar is not empty, life is endless, stamina is not exhausted, battle is endless, plus 1 point / minute, spirit. 1880/1880, unity of essence and spirit, unity of heaven and earth, plus 1 point / minute, command. 62 force. 94 intelligence. 54 politics. 46 charm. 88 characteristic. Infinite power. Angry that the earth has no ring to grasp, only able to lift the pagoda every day. Transaction license. Possesses the privilege to trade with the mall anytime, anywhere, and comes with 6 spaces for personal use. Essence plunder. You can earn a certain profit from killing an enemy. Skills. Fist and foot LV5, knife LV5, iron bone LV5, mighty LV5, speaking LV1, equestrian LV1. Blood bars are not empty, life is endless, endless stamina, endless battles. Can we say that this is a buff that reduces damage and increases stamina? Chao Gai couldn't help but want to give it a try. So I found a pair of scissors and put them on my arm. Minor injury. Health point 5. A line of small characters drifted faintly before my eyes. Looking at the character panel again, the HP has indeed increased to 151/156. Chao Gai pulled out his defensive Bollier sharp knife from his waist. Ha. With a clear drink, a knife pierced his left arm, his clothes were torn, blood burst out, and a heart-wrenching pain followed. Chao Gai's painful face twitched, but when he pulled the sharp knife out of his left arm, the wound immediately stopped bleeding, and the pain quickly disappeared, even feeling a tingling sensation. Sure enough. There are no adverse buffs such as injury, bleeding, or action 1 in the body. After looking at the wound that was just pierced by a sharp knife, there was no trace of it. Even the skin color was the same. If it weren't for the bloodstains on the torn sleeve, no one would have believed that they had been injured. It won't affect your actions due to injury, just like a zombie before being beheaded, it can also be considered an alternative undead. Chao Gai's courage increased even more, and he picked up a sharp knife to continue his experiment. A knife pierced the knee, ah. A knife pierced into the abdomen, sob. A stab in the chest, goo. Although it hurts a lot when I'm injured, the process of recovery and the feeling of numbness make me feel addicted. Why do I do too much? The experiment revealed the effect of qi and blood, and Chao Gai was secretly pleased. This body was digitized, and if hidden physical strength, endurance bonuses were added, as well as recovery power. It's a bit impressive. Qi and blood recovery plus 1/minute. Well, being injured doesn't affect one's actions, it's just a bit mentally exhausted. With one's own recovery ability, one can recover full blood in less than 2 hours. In the midst of dying, I sat up in shock and became myself again. Seriously injured and on the brink of death, you can be resurrected with full health in 2 hours. This is simply a life-saving skill. Chao Gai continues to look at his property panel spirit. 1880/1880, Unity of Essence and Spirit, Unity of Heaven and Earth, plus 1 point/minute, it seems that the health is the sum of command and force, while the spirit is 10 times the sum of intelligence, politics, and charm. What is the use of this spiritual value? Chao Gai focused his attention on this value and suddenly felt a buzzing sound, his thoughts exploding. Starting from oneself and spreading towards the surrounding area, it continued to extend for 1,880 meters before stopping. In Chao Gai's consciousness, he could clearly feel everything inside the circle with a radius of 1880 meters. The little girl outside the door is sewing clothes. The kitchen maid in the back kitchen will serve meals to the servants and customers. Wu Yong and Gong Sunsheng are preparing for a long trip. Lu Tang is lying in bed cross-legged eating fruits. Have you opened your eyes? Chao Gai was extremely excited, and opening his eyes was like stealing observe the divine skill. When I was in heaven, I needed to have this ability, why would I be single here? Well, I can't say for sure, who can give up the entire forest just because of one tree. Just as he was about to continue observing, a sense of exhaustion struck. Looking at the character panel, he saw that the 1880 points of mental power were decreasing at a rate of 1 point per second. That is to say, my current mental strength is only enough to open my heavenly eye for 31 minutes. Time cannot be wasted. Chao Gai continued to experiment with the ability of Tianyan, somewhat like playing a construction game, and could also switch perspectives. People in their own field of vision walk around like cartoon characters, each with a small face representing emotions on their head. Some have green big smiling faces, some have yellow smiling faces, some have blue cold faces, some have red crying faces, and some have black angry faces. Ding, there are 176 eligible individuals within the scope of spiritual coverage, who can be considered as the source of destiny. A faint white smoke drifted in, making Chao Gai feel comfortable. The servants, and guests of the Chao family manor helped more than 300 people, with 76 being emotional green and 100 being yellow, which is quite good, indicating that Chao Gai, the manor master, is indeed very popular. Fan plus 176, Destiny plus 252. A person with a blue cold face may be distant from Chao Gai and have fewer meetings without much interaction. The person with a red crying face was obviously dissatisfied with Chao Gai, and even harbored resentment. What's going on with those 3 people with black angry faces? Did I dig your ancestral grave? The person with a red crying face should be driven away, but the ones with a black face cannot be let go. These people either have a grudge against themselves or are spies sent by the enemy. After observing for a few more minutes, it was confirmed that there were no omissions. That's when I closed the heavenly eye. According to a mental recovery rate of 1 point per minute, it can fully recover in half a day. Chao Gai called his banker Captain Chen Wei over. Name. Chen Wei, captain of the manor, height 178 centimeters, weight 72 kilograms, command 35 force, 48 intelligence, 42 politics, 22 charm, 29 loyalty, 94 feature. Fox's fake tiger power skills. Park knife LV3, stick LV2. Chao Gai examined and found that Chen Wei's ability was average, but his loyalty was commendable. Chao Gai told him a few names. I'm going out these 3 days, and when I come back, I don't want to see them again. Chao Gai arranged it. Master, don't worry, I am familiar with the way. Chen Wei nodded in response. Sending Chen Wei away, Chao Gai continued to observe his 5-dimensional attributes, with the most prominent being his strength and charm. 94 points of force, exactly at the boundary between first class and super first class experts. If you add your own infinite strength characteristic, you may be able to squeeze into the ranks of super first class, but how strong your own strength is, you can try lifting a few grinding discs another day. The feature of transaction permission goes without saying. When you open the panel, it's all gray. 0-point wealth makes it impossible for him to afford anything. Let's wait until next month when we settle our salary. What made Chao Gai more concerned was the accompanying 6-compartment space. He originally thought it was a space bag like a space ring, but the system prompted that it could only hold items purchased from the system mall. Not to mention that as a poor person, I can't afford anything. Even if I can afford it, isn't it okay for me to just put it on the ground? What are you still doing in your 6-grid space? Isn't this unnecessary? As for elite plunder, each time an enemy is killed, a certain profit can be obtained from it. Easy to understand, Chao Gai's hand was like a gust of wind, killing a mosquito that had sucked his own blood, but there was no feedback. Can't mosquitoes be considered enemies? Or is it too small to kill? In my past life, I was a good person, as everyone said. Are you just so blatantly tempting me to commit a crime in the system? Cough cough, by the way, how much does this certain proportion specifically refer to? Without a quantitative standard, I really can't flexibly adjust my bottom line. After some exploration, this system can only be used as a powerful recovery golden finger for the time being. It is not afraid of injury and becomes more and more brave in battle, which is already sufficient for a warrior. Arrange household matters and Chao Gai is ready to go out. He brought 2 manners and led a horse out. Lu Tang heard the commotion inside the room and crawled out with 1 bone. Uncle, how can we go out and do things without me serving? I'll go with you. Noisy, you are reckless in handling things. Just don't cause trouble for me, go back to the house and sleep. Chao Gai rebuked. Uncle, don't worry, I will definitely obey my uncle's orders and never drag him down. A ferocious man, revealing the coquettish demeanor of his young children, really gives people goosebumps. Chao Gai looked at Lu Tang's restless expression and hesitated for a moment before agreeing to let him follow. I'm out on my own, and now that the village hasn't been able to suppress Lu Tang's character, this troublemaker still stays by my side watching the insurance. Okay, I'll go lead a horse to the Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Lu Tang was overjoyed and climbed to the backyard to find an old horse to ride on. In the past, when his family was poor, he only rode cows when herding for the landlord's family, so Lu Tang dared not ride a fierce horse and only found an elderly mare with a gentle personality to ride on. Everyone rode out and headed north towards Qinghe County. Not bad, Chao Gai is going to Qinghe County to try his luck and see if he can cut off Hu Werlang ahead of time. If there are dates but not, try hitting 2 sticks. If we can cut off the beard in advance, we can gain a great general ourselves. If Wu Song has already run away, he can only wait for the opportunity to try Cangzhou in the future. Riding horses on your own, 3 days back and forth is enough time. P.S. Setting the character's 5 perimeter attributes commanders. 10. Ordinary people, 20. Small leaders, 40. Leaders, 60. Officers, 80. Regular generals, 90. Like arms and fingers, 95. Use troops like gods, force. 10. Ordinary people, 20. Strong, 40. Skilled in martial arts, 60. Skilled in martial arts, 70. Skilled in martial arts, 80. Charging into battle, 90. Brave and fierce, 95. Not suitable for 10,000 men, intelligence. 10. Ordinary person, 20. Intelligent, 40. Skilled, 60. Knowledgeable, 80. Open-minded, 90. Socialite, 95. Super first. Class, politics. 10. Ordinary people, 20. Small leaders, 40. Big leaders, 60. Talents from one county, 80. Talents from one state, 90. Talents from one country, 95. Super first. Class, charm. 10. Ordinary people, 20. Strong presence, 40. Admirable, 60. Extraordinary temperament, 80. Willing to follow, 90. World. Renowned, 95. Bow and bow. Chapter 5. Qinghe Wuhan University. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Qinghe County is located in the north of Yuncheng. Cao Cao and others rode horses and arrived at Qinghe County in less than a day. The county wall is over 2 zhang high, with mottled walls and traces of being soaked in water. It should be a legacy caused by the flooding of the Yellow River in recent years. Some walls and city bricks have fallen off, revealing the yellow soil inside, which has not been repaired to this day. It seems that this county magistrate is not someone who works hard and loves the people. There are military handles at the entrance of the city, with many wanted portraits and notices pasted on both sides. Broken and tattered, making it difficult to distinguish. If the news of the birth chart were to be leaked, Chao Gai would probably also be one of the many portraits on the wall. To enter the city, you need to pay an entry fee of 10 yuan per person, and an additional 10 yuan for horseback riding. The soldiers at the city gate stopped Chao Gai and his group, holding their waist knives and speaking arrogantly. We are not merchants and have not brought any goods. Which entrance fee should we pay for entering the city? Lu Tang has been wandering in the martial arts world for many years and has not encountered several instances of charging city fees to pedestrians. The county magistrate has an order that according to the tax law of the Great Song dynasty, one must pay the city gate tax when entering the city, accommodation tax when staying overnight, transaction tax when buying a house, exit tax when leaving the city, and long-term tax when doing business. If you say you haven't brought any goods, then take off your clothes and let the masters search for any items such as tea or silk. Also, if you say you're riding your horse, do you mean you're going to sell it in the city? This is a large transaction and you need to pay 30% of the transaction tax. A leader with fluffy sleeping eyes and a huff came out of the guard soldiers, pointing at Lu Tang and Chao Gai and giving them an official tone. Now the masters suspect that you are suspected of evading taxes through bulk trading. Let's make up for the horses trading tax first. The soldiers' eyes lit up, and they finally ran into such a group of fat sheep. They wanted to be slaughtered well. They pushed aside the surrounding people who had entered the city and surrounded Chao Gai and his 4 companions. Damn it, is the business environment so bad now? As soon as I entered the city, I was eaten and asked for a card. The world is so beautiful, but I am so irritable, it's not good, it's not good. Chao Gai comforted himself in his heart, suppressed his anger, reached out to block Lu Tang, who was also furious, threw his saddle off his horse, and hugged the shoulder of the soldier's head. He walked aside and said, "Brother, take a step to speak." Although frustrated, these soldiers represent the government and authority. I haven't even seen the goal of this trip, so I need to temporarily endure and can only swallow this breath for now. Our brothers are new here and don't understand the rules. It's a small gesture of goodwill, please don't mind. Chao Gai said and took out a hanging copper coin, quietly stuffing it into the leader's arms. That guy got money, and now his face is a little tired. There was still some greed in his heart, but seeing Chao Gai's extraordinary martial arts, and all four of them riding horses, burlap-wrapped weapons on horseback, he was not an ordinary and deceitful commoner. After shaking his hand, he said, "Let's go, pay attention next time." Remembering what Yen Pe Shi said in the original work. When a public servant sees money, he is like a fly seeing blood. As a public servant, which cat doesn't eat fishy food? In this era of the Song dynasty, there was indeed great greed among high-ranking officials and small greed among small officials. Even Song Jiang, Dai Zong, Kong Xian, Lei Heng, Zhu Tong any so. Called hero or hero who works in official positions is not immune to bribery. As mentioned in the poem, Encouraging Learning. In books, there is a beauty as jade, and in books, there is a golden house. Others earn money and I study, while others are my golden house. Chao Gai shook his head secretly. This bureaucratic corruption, bribery of the royal family, and equal distribution of interests in the northern Song court were rotten from top to bottom. No wonder hundreds of thousands of people were scattered like birds and beasts when they were rushed by the Jin people. Chao Gai mounted his horse, arched his hand at the leader, and led Lu Tang in two manners into the city. "Uncle, these soldiers are clearly extorting." After Lu Tang entered the city, he remained indignant and dissatisfied. "Seeing the streets so desolate, I know they didn't do it on the first day." Chao Gai also nodded in agreement. The flow of people in this county town is sparse, and most shops along the street are closed, indicating that officials are exploiting and causing a significant reduction in foreign business personnel. Qinghe is also a large county, but its level of prosperity is not even half that of Yinchuan County. As it was getting late, they finally found an inn in a remote location to temporarily rest and prepare to inquire about the news the next day. The next day, after finishing grooming at the hotel and having some breakfast, I saw the waiter in the shop busy and called him to inquire. I heard that there is a strange pair of brothers in Qinghe County. The older brother is short and sells pancakes for a living, named Wu Dalong. The younger brother is tall, brave and majestic, named Wu Erlang. Have you heard of him? The waiter was running around the hotel, with the most informed information. Upon hearing this, he boasted, "Sir, you're asking the right person. I, Wang Shower, have been in Qinghe County for many years. I can tell if there is a needle in the east or a thread in the west of the city. Who's the delicate lady longing for spring, who's the old man dusting?" I just casually said it. Chao Gai threw him dozens of won and said, "Have you heard of that?" The waiter quickly put the money into his arms and smiled, but it never happened. Lu Tang stood up and cursed, "I haven't heard of it before. What's the point of selling it?" After finishing speaking, he grabbed the waiter's feet and lifted it upside down, shaking it off a few times. A few tens of won fell from his pocket. But he didn't go to pick it up himself. Since he followed Chao Gai, Lu Tang has become wealthy and has never lacked silver. He doesn't even look up to those dozens of won copper coins. Chao Gai laughed heartily, persuaded Lu Tang, and then paid an extra 10 won to the waiter, saying, "Just listen to something interesting in the morning." "Hold on, high-ranking officials." The waiter saw Chao Gai's generosity and quickly arched his hand to apologize, saying, "I apologize, high-ranking officials. It wasn't intentional concealment just now, but that Wu Erlang had shown kindness to me. I thought you were looking for bad luck with their brothers before, but now I'm trying to cover it up. But I see that you're not here to seek revenge. I guess you're right, it's not about seeking revenge, but about being famous and making friends." Chao Gai nodded and smiled. The waiter made amends and said, "You can go to Nanchur Wudong Street to find it. The brothers of the Wu family are in the middle of the street, and you will know when you ask nearby." "Thank you." Chao Gai and his team left their horses in the backyard of the inn and walked towards Nanchur. The layout of the county town was basically the same, with Donggui, Shifu, Nanchur, and Beijian. Generally, street vendors, small businesses, rice markets, and vegetable markets gather in Nanchur. Entering the southern market, the crowd was scattered, with small stalls selling weekly on both sides. At first glance, there seemed to be little vitality. Where there are people, there is a martial arts world. The more people there are, the larger the martial arts world becomes. Chao Gai didn't want to cause trouble, but there were always some grievances before his eyes. 3 hooligans knocked down a fruit seller on the street. The once dull street suddenly became more lively, with pedestrians and residents coming out to watch. As long as it doesn't concern oneself, watching others suffer seems to be a rare joy in their boring lives. The 3 mischievous people have always bullied the weak and feared the hard. When they met this fruit seller, they naturally wanted to show off their authority. Seeing everyone watching, they became even more determined. The child was pushed back and forth like a ball, and the fruits on the ground were trampled to pieces. Lu Tang frowned and glared angrily, reaching out to draw the axe from his waist. Chao Gai pressed him down. At this moment, a short man who was less than 5 feet tall and had an ugly face squeezed in through the cracks of the crowd. He also came to watch the excitement, and his short stature had some miraculous effects in cutting corners. Chao Gai saw this dwarf and felt secretly happy. He fixed his eyes and watched. Name: Wu Ji, Wu Dalang, height: 136 centimeters, weight 58 kilograms, command 5 force, 6 intelligence, 62 politics, 13 charm, 18 affinity. Neutral, blue, characteristic. Diligent, a pair of restless hands make him abundant in clothing and food. Skills. Culinary skills LV4, management LV2. As expected, there is no place to search for broken iron shoes, and it takes no effort to obtain them. Unexpectedly, as soon as I entered Qinghe County, I encountered the target I was looking for. Wu Dalang's attributes are very poor, but his intelligence attribute of 62 surprised Chao Gai secretly. This is much higher than the average person. But just thinking about it, a disabled person already has a weak body. If they don't have a shrewd mind, how can they raise their big and rough younger brother? How to buy your own house in the bustling streets of the county. Wu Dalang had already sold out his pancakes early and wanted to go home. Coincidentally, he saw a lively scene and squeezed in to watch. But after watching for a while, I couldn't bear it anymore. 3 big men bullied a child and even trampled on the fruits that supported the family. I don't know how the child would be beaten when he came home and how he would go hungry at night. The 3 rascals, seeing the crowd around them, felt immensely honored and bullied the child even more. They were no longer satisfied with pushing and shoving the child. They had to come up with some tricks, otherwise how could they please the onlookers? Papai Tu San suddenly came up with a plan and picked up the child, cursing, "Grandpa's clothes are worth 100 guan, and I got dirty with your rotten fruit. You have to compensate me. The child's family is poor, and they have eaten their last meal without stopping. How can they achieve 100 guan, so they keep begging for mercy?" Papai San said, "Look at your poor appearance and you're not wealthy either. Let Grandpa break your mouth full of yellow teeth, so that you can have a good memory and remember the authority of my Qinghe Third Lord." The surrounding spectators cheered one after another. Lu Tang was so angry that he was about to rush out, but was stopped by Chao Gai and said, "Don't be impatient. If things are urgent, I will take action." After speaking, he was holding a copper coin in his hand. If that mischievous person really wanted to break a child's teeth, this copper coin would shatter his wrist. And coincidentally, the child was being pushed onto Wu Dalang, who wanted to leave when they collided and fell to the ground together. Everyone burst into laughter when they saw this funny scene. Pupi San was about to reach out and catch the child, but Wu Dalang unexpectedly stepped forward and stood in front of the child. His short stature was not as tall as the child's, making him look like an old hen protecting her cubs, which was even more amusing. 3 mischievous people were also amused and shouted, "3-inch ding, now that you don't have your second son, how dare you meddle in your own business?" Why don't you pee and take care of yourself? Wu Daolong smiled all over his face and said, what you guys are saying is that the little one has actually been photographed while peeing, but it still looks very ugly. Later on, he didn't even dare to pee. The onlookers laughed again. This Wu Daolong didn't go to the tea shop to talk, but he also wasted some good eloquence. Poopy San smiled and said, 3-inch ding, do you want to act like a hero and stop your grandfathers from acting as heroes? Wu Daolong apologized and said, I naturally dare not, but I can't avoid it even if I want, so I have to grit my head and come forward. Please forgive me, 3 gentlemen. The fruit seller has an old father who is sick and relies solely on selling fruits every day to earn 30 or 40 yuan to support his family. If you have any anger, just throw it at me, this useless person. I promised to roll beautifully on the ground. Everyone cheered and said, get out, get out. Poopy San responded to the public opinion and said, then get out of here and show it to Grandpa. Wu Daolong was also not affected, huddled on the ground and rolled smoothly, as if he had done this many times. The onlookers laughed heartily. After rolling in circles twice, Wu Daolong, covered in dirt, said to Poopy, are you still satisfied with this? Poopy San felt a radiant expression on his face. Knowing that he couldn't even get a few cents out of that child's hands, he turned his mind to Wu Da and said, my clothes got dirty and I always have to pay for them. Since you're showing off, you'll pay. Without hesitation, Wu Daolong took out the money bag from his arms and presented it all to Poopy San, saying, it's all here, please accept it. Poopy San pretended to be dissatisfied and said, this little money is nothing. But as long as someone sneaks through my crotch, I won't pursue it anymore. Who are you two? Wu Daolong's face suddenly changed, but when he glanced at the bleeding servant, his face quickly turned back into a smiling face. Pulling the servant who wanted to kneel down, he said, let me do it. I'm small and it's convenient to crawl. 3 mischievous people laughed heartily and said, without your martial arts second, you're just a fart. Wu Daolong's face was full of laughter, and in front of everyone's eyes, he crouched down and was about to crawl through the crotch of Poopy San. A big hand stopped him and gently pulled him up. Chao Gai protected Wu Daolong behind him and said, the man has gold under his knees, and these few of them are not worth this price. After speaking, he signaled to Lu Tang and the 2 merchants. Lu Tang harbored a grudge against evil, and when he saw such injustice that oppressed the good, he had long held back his anger. Like a fierce tiger with red hair and a flock of sheep, embracing 3 mischievous people. Pop 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 pop, a person gave a big mouth and asked fiercely, how can I compensate for your dirty face that damaged my hand skin? We are all subordinates of Mr. Nyo, how dare you do? Pop 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 pop, 3 more slaps in the face and cursed, Grandpa's skin is worth 100 guan, can you afford to pay for it? We have the support of the county magistrate behind us, and if you offend us, you will look good. Pop 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 pop, 3 more slaps in the face. As they entered the city and approached the mission target, Chao Gai didn't care who he offended anymore. He signaled to Lu Tang, hitting them even harder, and all 3 of them had their big teeth knocked out. Lu Tang cursed, bullshit and mischievous, you still want to bully others. Watch me kill you. Hero, spare my life. 3 mischievous people dare not be stubborn anymore and repeatedly beg for mercy. Get lost. Lu Tang felt suffocated in his heart, and 3 mischievous people covered their cheeks, not daring to say a harsh word, and ran away in a flash. The onlookers around cheered one after another, and this lively atmosphere was rare to see. The onlooker chuckled for a while before gradually dissipating. Wu Daolong let out a long sigh and bowed to Chao Gai, holding on to the pear seller, saying, thank you very much for your help. He picked up the partially trampled fruits on the ground and handed them to the little boy, saying, hurry up and go home. If you're lucky enough to meet someone important this time, be more clever in the future. We won't be able to provoke such mischievous behavior. The child gratefully said, the Lang, if it weren't for you, I would have been beaten to pieces by them. In fact, in the end, I can get into my pants. You don't have to humiliate me. Wu Dalong said, as a man, don't kneel down easily. I am a useless person, and it doesn't matter what. You are still young, don't underestimate yourself and lose your spirit. Remember today's shame, and when you grow up, you will recover it. Thank you, Wuhan University. Wu Dalong bent down, took off his shoes, poured out more than 10 won from the shoes, handed them to the child and said, you can't reason when you meet a rascal, so you have to cheat him with your own ideas. How thoughtful. The child tearfully thanked him, picked up the fruit basket, and ran away. Chao Gai applauded and said, acting bravely in righteousness does not necessarily require the use of force. Wisdom can also achieve goals. Your actions are admirable to me. Wu Dalong looked at Chao Gai in surprise, then shook his head and said, this high-ranking official is joking. I'm just a useless person, how could I have such great ability to act bravely in righteousness? Chao Gai said, it's bravery to stand up and bully the weak. Knowing that one is invincible, using witty and humorous words to resolve a crisis is wise. Voluntarily donating money to help others in need is an act of righteousness. Being able to stretch and bend, kneeling down to help others overcome obstacles, is believing. Such a person of faith, righteousness, wisdom, and courage is naturally admirable. Wu Dalong felt embarrassed and rubbed his head, saying, I'm not as good as you said. I wanted to hide back then. I couldn't hide anymore, so I had to step forward. I have a restless younger brother who always causes trouble, and that's how I helped him end it. I don't feel wronged, let alone how great I am. So the young master really praised me wrong. Upon hearing this, Chao Gai's interest in Wu Dalong became even stronger. Wu Erlang may have made a mistake and gone to Zhangzhou. Winning a Wuhan University is actually not bad, at least in the future, he will have an extra dish of pancakes and delicious food. A person's temperament is always closely related to the environment in which they grew up. There are few lotus flowers that emerge from the mud without staining, but more of them are red when they are close to the red, and black when they are close to the ink. Angry parents find it difficult to raise quiet and peaceful children. It is also difficult for a scholarly family to raise a shirtless man who goes to battle. How could Wu Dalong be a cowardly and incompetent person who could cultivate such a generous and heroic hero as Wu Song? Chao Gai glanced at Wu Dalong's pancake basket and said, I've heard that your pancake is very good. Do you know how to stir fry and cook? When Wu Dalong saw Chao Gai praising him for making good pancakes, he smiled and said, the good instructor has learned that my cooking skills from elementary school are not boasting, but my pancakes are unique in Qinghe. Look for Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com. Moreover, I am proficient in steaming, cooking, and frying all kinds of food. After all, I have a brother who has a huge appetite to support, and I can't do heavy work. There are not many skills to survive, Chao Gai said. In Xiayan City, Chao Gai has 100 hectares of fertile land and hundreds of merchants. There is a shortage of someone who can cook delicious food around him. I want to hire you back to the village, and the cost is 5 guan per month. What do you think? Wu Guan. Wu Dalong's eyes widened. You should know that nowadays, a household's average monthly consumption is half the usual. They sell pancakes greedily from morning to night and only earn 3 guan per month. If they can earn 5 guan per month, it may not be long before they can save enough money to marry Erlang and inherit the lineage of the Wu family. But after a second thought and some hesitation, Wu Dalong could only say, can I consider it for a few days, high-ranking official? Chao Gai smiled and said, of course I can. I'll stay at the Uli Inn and come find me when you've figured it out. Wu Dalong thanked him consecutively, carrying the burden of cooking cakes, and hurriedly left, obviously wanting to calm down and consider carefully. Lu Tang leaned over and pointed to Wu Dalong's back, saying, Uncle, aren't you really interested in this dwarf? Chao Gai smiled and said, why not? Faced with those naughty people, he stepped forward. Lu Tang was dissatisfied and said, I can also step forward, but didn't you stop me? Chao Gai chuckled and said, the nobility of a person is not in their height, obesity, or thinness, nor in their wealth or poverty, nor in their wealth or wealth at home, but in their inner soul. The onlookers around have healthy limbs, but they only know how to make fun and be lively. Wuhan University's physical disability but selfless efforts for others. The soul is high and makes a judgment. Lu Tang listened to Chao Gai's explanation and then looked at Wu Dawang's back, showing a hint of respect. Chapter 6. Qinghewu 2. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chao Gai originally thought that Wu Dawang would think for a long time before giving a reply. Unexpectedly, on that night, Wu Dat secretly visited the inn. Senior official, you said you wanted to hire me as a cook, but it still counts. Wuhan University has a humble attitude. Naturally, Chao always spits and nails every time he speaks. Chao Gai smiled and said. It seems that things have their own unexpected turning point. Can I bring a kitchen assistant? Wu Da asked with some restraint. Of course you can. Chao Gai was somewhat surprised, but did not inquire further. It wasn't until Chao Gai saw the tall and majestic man who was 8 feet tall that he was surprised and said, this is what you called a kitchen helper. This is clearly your younger brother Wu Erlang. Name. Wu Song, Wu Erlang, height. 194 centimeters weight. 108 kilograms command. 58 force. 97 intelligence. 68 politics. 33 charm. 82 affinity. Admiration, yellow, characteristic. Strong and progressive, becoming more courageous in the face of difficulties and never giving up. Skills. Drunken fist LV5, stick LV3, knife LV5, body dominance LV3, ding. If one person meets the criteria, it can be considered as the source of destiny. Fans +1, destiny +1. Wu Da and Wu Er looked awkward. Brother Chao Gai, please don't blame my elder brother. I asked him to help recommend me. It was really because my younger brother caused trouble and was eager to flee. I heard that my elder brother mentioned meeting someone named Chao Gai today. I thought to myself that it might be the famous Tota Heavenly King in Shandong, which is why this happened. Brother, don't blame me. Wu Song has apologized for this. Wu Song said, bowing to the end. Brother, please get up quickly. Chao Gai's surprise is too late, why would he blame him? This is Wu Song. Even though he hasn't become a hero in fighting tigers yet, hasn't been drunk enough to fight against the Jiangmen god, hasn't been splattered with blood in Faiyunpu, but this is Wu Song. The main goal of coming to Qinghe County by myself was to achieve the task so easily. Hurry up Wu Song and let the 2 brothers of the Wu family sit down. Not bad, I am Chao Gai, the Baozheng of Dongxi village, also known as the Tuotian king. I came to Qinghe County this time because I heard that there is a chivalrous and righteous man named Wu Erlang here who specially invited me to join the village. I thought Erlang had already left and missed the chance to meet him. Seeing the young boy selling pears on the street by Dalong, I was deeply moved and wanted to invite him to the village. Unexpectedly, he stumbled upon Erlang again. Fate is so fleeting. Upon hearing that the famous Tota Heavenly King in Shandong had also heard of him, Wu Song was very satisfied with his vanity. Upon hearing Chao Gai's account of the story, I also marveled at the wonder of fate. Seeing Wu Song looking disheveled and seemingly having a bad time lately, he took out his own clothes to change into Wu Song's and instructed the inn to make a table of food and drinks. All the food and drinks were served, and Wu Song also briefly combed and changed into new clothes. Everyone sat around and talked about the fate of their relationship. There is a rascal named Nyoda who lends high-interest loans in Qinghe County. He runs rampant in the county town and is lawless. The interest rate is as high as 10%, and there are countless victims. Their subordinates have raised a group of hooligans, and the people in the county town dare not speak out in anger. Wu Song originally didn't want to offend such a mischievous person, but half a month ago, while drinking with his friends, he met Niudawe who was robbing his beautiful daughter, causing the family to fall apart and her grandmother to be beaten to death in the street. In a fit of rage, Wu Song took action and opened the ox wide open. Wu Song thought he had killed someone and wanted to escape overnight, but he was locked down by the government's yamen and could not leave the city. I have been hiding in a friend's cellar recently. The government was unable to capture Wu Song, so Wu Dalong was shackled and publicly displayed for 10 days. He suffered a lot and was only recently released. Today, Wu Dalong was invited by Chao Gai to Yunqing County. He thought it was a good opportunity to smuggle his younger brother Wu Song out of the city, so he took the opportunity to run to Wu Song's hiding place at night to discuss. Wu Song heard that Chao Gai had come to Qinghe, so he took a risk to meet each other. I see. High-interest loans can harm people, mischievous behavior can harm lives. Erlang's killing of that person can also be considered as a way to eliminate harm for the people. Chao Gai nodded. If I were to meet him, I would also strike that guy with one blow. Red-haired ghost Lu Tang felt that Wu Song acted more happily and spoke in agreement. Wu Dalong said, "It's just that this has caused a lawsuit for human life, and it will be difficult to have a peaceful life in the future. If the high-ranking officials are willing to take us in and save us from the city, we will live with them in the future. This matter is easy, I agree. Come out of the city with me tomorrow." Chao Gai didn't expect things to go so smoothly, so he naturally agreed. As for offending the government, I'm going to rebel now, and I'm afraid of offending the government. Thank you, Brother Chao, for your help. I, Wu Erlang, will always remember my kindness and vow to repay you to the death. Borrow brother's wine, borrow flowers to offer to Buddha, and act first as a tribute. Wu Erlang was not hesitant, picked up a large bowl of wine, tilted his neck and poured it down, very generous. At this moment, a banker leaned over to Chao Gai's ear and whispered a few words. What? Bring that person over. In a short moment, the banker came in holding a small, skinny rascal and kicked him in the corner of his leg, causing him to kneel on the ground. Manor master, we found this person sneaking outside the inn. We only found out after catching him and asking him a question. He was monitoring our group. The banker said. Chao Gai's face darkened slightly, and he recognized that the person was just a little rascal who bullied Wu Dalong with the mischievous Ah San during the day. It's Papi Ma Lu. Papi A San's subordinates are all big subordinates. Wu Dalong also recognized this person, and his face was a bit unsightly. Wu Song also seemed to realize something. Chao Gai gave Lu Tang a look, and Lu Tang showed a fierce and evil expression. He went up and slapped Ma Lu a few times, causing his brain to buzz. Who sent you here? Why are you monitoring us? Lu Tang asked fiercely. The mischievous scoundrel is most afraid of this evil god and evil spirit, and he stuttered and explained the reason. So that mischievous leader bull didn't die. The backing mountain behind Nyoda is Dinggua, also known as Sitting Tiger, a magistrate of Qinghe County. Nyoda, relying on his connections with others, dominates in Qinghe County with high-interest loans, and half of the money from human trafficking is also donated to Dinggua. Nyoda was kicked open. How could he swallow this breath and swear to peel off Wu Song's skin and cramp? Unable to find Wu Song's hiding place, Dinggua used the power of the county captain to block 4 gates, making it impossible to search and capture them everywhere in the county. He thought of luring the snake out of the hole. Firstly, Wu Dalong was shackled and displayed to the public, playing the card of bitterness. Who knew that Wu Dalong was so tough, locked up for 10 days without saying a word? Wu Erlang is also nowhere to be found. Later, he changed his strategy and sent people to harass, bully, and track Wu Dalong every day in order to find Wu Song's hiding place. But Wu Dalong was very clever and never showed any flaws. Today, When Wuhan University saw the hope of leaving, it exposed Wusong's trace. Since Nyoda knows that the Marshall brothers are at the Uli Inn, why not come? He only sent you as a subordinate to monitor. Chao Gai asked in a deep voice. Grandpa, Wu Erlang has exceptional martial arts skills and cannot be subdued by only 20 or 30 people. Nyoda may be gathering manpower, or he may be asking Captain Ding to send someone. I'm just a subordinate and I really don't know. Pippi Ma Lu said pitifully. What should I do? Wu Dalong was a bit flustered. Although he was a bit quick-witted, he was still a common person. Officials at the level of county lieutenant are already in the sky for him. Brother Chao, I'm afraid Wu Er won't be able to go to Yunqing with you this time. Wusong's face was resolute, and he bowed to Chao Gai before continuing. I originally fled, but I didn't want to continue to burden my friends. But now that I have been spotted by Nyoda, I am bound to anger and hide my friends. If I leave, causing the death of my friend's family, my heart will be uneasy. So I decided to stay and fight to the death with that cow. May Brother Chao take my brother away, so that I have no worries. Even if he dies, Wu Er will still be a cow and a horse in his next life to repay his brother's kindness. Wu Er, goodbye. Wusong Xiongwu's body fell to the ground with a thud and kowtowed to Chao Gai. My dear brother, please rise up quickly. Throughout my life, Chao Gai values fairness and trustworthiness the most. If you call me Big Brother and kneel in front of me once, it will be my brother Chao Gai. If there is anything, my big brother will take care of it for you. I regard Nyoda and Dinggua as nothing. Follow me and see what I do tonight. Chao Gai helped Wusong up and said to Pippi Ma Lu, lead the way ahead, go to Nyo everyone. Ma Lu dared not disobey and was grabbed by Lu Tang's neck, leading the way. Chao Gai, Wusong, and two manners picked up weapons and followed. Wu Dalong hid in the inn waiting for news. He dare not go home now, fearing that there may also be an ambush there. Nyo everyone is in a relatively large courtyard in an alley in the east of the city. Approaching the outer wall of the courtyard, one can hear the noise inside, indicating that the location is right. Sting. Lu Tang wiped Ma Lu's neck with a knife, and since the road had arrived, he naturally had no effect. Chao Gai leaped forward and climbed a 1-foot-high wall, followed closely by Lu Tang, Wusong, and two other manners. I saw the torches shining brightly in the courtyard, with over 30 mischievous people holding torches and wielding single swords chatting in groups of 3 or 5. A big man wrapped in gauze on his head, with bare arms and a red cow head tattoo exposed, was stirring. Speaking unrealistic words such as wealth, rewards, and value, everyone burst into laughter, and a cheerful atmosphere filled their surroundings. Wusong, this bastard, has finally been spotted by me. This time, I'm going to peel off his skin and cramp him. I'll sell his dwarf brother's leg tendon to the theater, as well as the bastard who took Wusong in. The man will kill him, and the woman will give him to Lord Ding to enjoy. That's how I can vent my anger. The big man with a cow head tattoo snorted angrily. Don't go looking, I'll come find you later. Chao Gai leaped up like a mountain, trampling down the shreds. Ding, congratulations to the host for killing one minion, with a free attribute point of plus 0.1. Is this the efficacy of characteristic essence plunder? Lu Tang jumped down, wielding a defensive bull's sharp knife, and occupied the front door. Two merchants swung open several people and guarded the back door. Wusong kicked over a person, grabbed the single sword, and pointed at Nyoda Dao from afar. Harmful thief, Wusong is here. You, how dare you? Nyo boasted fiercely, but when faced with Wusong, he was actually 3 points shy. Faced with the posture of Chao Gai and the others coming up and chopping, he was so scared that he couldn't speak fluently. Quick battle and quick decision. Chao Gai's feet were like dragons, with one foot breaking his knee, the other piercing his heart, and the other spitting blood and dying. Wusong waved his single sword, chopping left and right, killing 2 people in a row, and his strong killing energy was almost overflowing. If it weren't for Brother Chao's help, if I were attacked by Nyota today, not only would I die, but my brother and friends would also suffer a lot of misfortune. At the thought of this terrible consequence, Wusong couldn't restrain himself. Kill! 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 Kill all these traitors, only honest ordinary people can have a way to survive. Chao Gai and Wusong were like fierce tigers entering the flock of sheep, and it was okay to threaten the people with their aggressive behavior around them. However, when they encountered real killings, they were scared to pee and fled in all directions. But there are people guarding the front and back doors, where can they escape? Lu Tang's proficient martial arts skills allow him to harvest these terrifying rascals without expending any effort. Sting! Lu Tang cut his throat again and twisted his hair to one side. His red hair, sharp red knives, and dense pupils were like ghosts. Evil spirits, evil spirits. Grandpa, spare my life. My grandson will never dare again, never dare again. Spare my life, spare my life. Puff. More than 30 mischievous people were swept away in just one stick of incense. Only Nyota, who was scared to the ground, remained. Do you know who I am? Chao Gai grabbed Nyota's neck and went to Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com to lift the fat Nyota with one arm and look at him level. Chao Gai doesn't like to talk to people with his head down. Grandpa, Grandpa, you are Grandpa, Nyota cried. Pa, 2 slaps in the face. Do you know who I am? Chao Gai continued to ask. Oh, you are, oh, which hero is that? Oh. Nyota had a few missing teeth, his cheeks were swollen and he couldn't speak clearly. I'm asking you, do you know who I am? Chao Gai continued to ask coldly. Grandpa, sob, your grandpa, sob, you're my own grandpa, sob, let's go around my grandson this time. Nyota earnestly begged. It seems that he really doesn't know who he is, so Chao Gai felt a little relieved. I still need to keep my name as the protector of Dongxi village for a few more days. Seeing that he really had no value, Chao Gai casually threw Nyota to Wusong for disposal. Harmful thieves, take your life. Wusong was not hesitant either. He stabbed the owl's head and ended up with a big cow. No longer afraid of him getting up and causing trouble for himself. Uncle, there has been a lot of noise tonight. The people around are afraid that someone has gone to report to the authorities. What will be done with the remaining hooligans in the courtyard? Lu Tang looked at the surviving mischievous survivors who were howling in agony. Kill everything. Either don't do it, or do it. Lu Tang, Wusong, and 2 manners stepped forward to repair their swords in response. Chao Gai walked up to a Papai San with a missing front tooth and kicked him in the neck. The money you get from bullying the weak is all the money to buy your life's Inda. Unfortunately, your Inda has long been overdue. Chapter 7. Corrupt Officials. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Carrying a sharp weapon, the heart of killing arises from within. During the Heavenly Dynasty, I was bound by the law and with a background of poverty, I never dared to cause trouble. Not to mention acting bravely, I dared not even help the elderly on the ground. Having only been in the Song Dynasty for 2 days, I dared to kill 8 people in a row without changing my expression. Chao Gai clenched his fist, strong and powerful, as if there was a cow in front of him, able to lift it with both hands and carry it home. Having been single for 36 years, he has developed a strong physique and superb martial arts skills, which make him instinctively resort to violence to solve problems. At the end of this battle, he killed 8 people and obtained 0.8 free attribute points. It seems that even the system is encouraging oneself to kill and become stronger. But is this still me? My heart and actions are as clear as a mirror, and everything I do is just. Chao Gai kept silently reciting and self-hypnotizing in his heart. I am the righteous and generous lord of the villa. I am also a delicate and selfish, timid citizen. I think, so I am here. I am just experiencing great changes in my life, and my thoughts and personality are still merging. In order to survive well in this late Northern Song dynasty, I need to break through the constraints of my previous thoughts and have a new bottom line. Get stronger. Live on. This is currently my simplest life goal and motivation. Comforting oneself and completing psychological construction. Looking at the 0.8 free attribute points obtained, Chao Gai thought about it and added them to the force value. Instead of averaging everything, it's better to first add one attribute to the vertex. If you have low command, you can let your brothers with high command lead troops to battle. If one has low intelligence, one can ask their brothers with high intelligence to come up with suggestions and strategies. Having low political status allows politically strong brothers to handle official duties. My charm is not low either. Many things can be handled by brothers. Only military force is the only option, and what belongs to oneself is the foundation of one's livelihood. Especially in this world where there are many strong people, if it is not strong enough, it will not be ruthless enough and unstable. After adding points, a burst of relief flowed throughout Chao Gai's body, and his strength increased to 94.8. With over 90% of the force, one can be called a first-class expert. Every improvement is a huge breakthrough. Brother, you could have stayed out of this matter, but you have been involved in a lawsuit for Wu Song's actions. There is no way to repay this kindness. Wu Song, who is 8 feet tall, will be dealt with by your brother in the future. Wu Song killed Qinghe, and recently the suffocation in his chest dissipated. He immediately knelt down in front of Chao Gai to thank him. Chao Gai's eyes lit up and he didn't refuse. He reached out and pressed his hand on Wu Song's shoulder, saying, "Have you thought of it and won't regret it? I will follow to the death and never regret it." Wu Song has a resolute attitude. Okay, then follow me and recite sharing blessings and facing difficulties together. Liver and gallbladder complement each other, heat and blood share the same territory. Never part, never give up, no illness, no injury. Remember the oath, the heavens are above without hesitation. Wu Song recited loudly, sharing blessings and facing difficulties together. Liver and gallbladder complement each other. Heat and blood share the same territory. Never leave, never give up, no illness, no injury. Remember the oath, the heavens are above. After taking a vow, a wisp of white smoke drifted out of Wu Song's head and merged into Chao Gai. Wu Song also suddenly felt a refreshing change in himself, but couldn't explain what it was. Ding, Wu Song is grateful for the host's kindness, and his affinity has increased to 89. Monthly destiny value +2. Chao Gai was a great general, secretly pleased in his heart. He has also pondered the taste. Passing through 60.80 days of affinity is yellow, providing 1 point of daily life value per month. 80.100 is green and provides 2 daily life points per month. At this moment, Lu Tang, who was searching for the property of everyone Nyo, ran over. "Uncle, come and take a look at these," Lu Tang said angrily. Chao Gai and Wu Song followed and entered a secret room, where they saw various torture tools and shackles, covered in bloodstains. In addition to a few boxes of gold, silver, and jewelry, there are also some account books. The above records the records of Nyo Da's lending and debt collection, forcing good people into prostitution, trafficking girls, and bribery over the years. Seeing as many as a dozen books of accounts and piles of wrongdoing. Chao Gai clenched his fists with a resounding sound. Wu Song even cursed loudly. Just now, he killed that turtle grandson with one knife. It was really too cheap for him. This kind of thief who harms the people should be cut to pieces. Lu Tang took practical action and ran into the courtyard, slashing at Nyo Da's body dozens of times to vent his anger. Disgustable and despicable, the officials behind him are even more damn. The reason why Nyo Da has been rampant for many years and no one dares to manage him is due to the support of the county magistrate Ding Guo. 80% of this bribe was given to him. This person cannot be spared either. Chao Gai said in a deep voice. But after all, Dingguo is a county captain. If he kills an official. Although Wu Song harbors a grudge against evil, he has never considered killing officials. 20 years of serving as a virtuous citizen have instilled in him a natural fear of officials. How can officials drip? I wish I could kill all the corrupt officials and evil spirits in the world. The red-haired ghost Lu Tang was not afraid of heaven and earth, let alone after following Chao Gai to seize the birth chart, he had no further concerns. Chao Gai nodded and said, since the sword has been drawn and you are not thirsty to drink enemy blood, it will be difficult to enter the sheath. But regarding Dingguo, let's change the killing method. Brother has already decided, and Wu Song vows to follow him to the death. Upon seeing this, Wu Song dispelled his concerns and planned to spare his life. For the sake of Brother Chao, even in the face of officers and soldiers, he dares to wield his sword and fight. Chao Gai saw that he had unified his thoughts and asked about the residence of Dingguo, the county magistrate of Wusong. People in Qinghe County may not know the county magistrate who changes every few years, but they cannot help but know the county aristocrat Ding family who has been occupying the position of county magistrate for decades. Coincidentally, the Ding family is also located in the East City, 500 meters away from here, and there are dozens of large houses. Chao Gai squinted his eyes slightly, spreading his spiritual power out. Although there was a slight commotion among the neighbors, they all closed their doors and windows tightly, making it irrelevant to themselves. The street was quiet and deserted, with 2 watchmen taking a nap hiding in one place. The gate of the county government office is tightly closed, and the night duty officials inside are sleeping soundly. The Ding family's courtyard was pitch black, but there was a mischievous person pulling against the gatekeeper at the entrance. Red-haired children. Lead the merchants to carry money and sneak back to the inn for standby. Erlang sneaked into the Ding family with me and took Dingguo's head. Chao Gai arranged everything and rushed towards Ding Mansion with Wu Song, intending to play the Assassin's Creed. Quietly enter and quietly come out. At this moment, at the entrance of Ding Mansion, a thin and weak mischievous Qian heir is tugging at the gatekeeper. Big brother, I really have something important to report to Captain Ding. Please go and mediate again. Qian heir was sent by Nyoda to report to Ding Mansion, hoping that Dingguo would arrange soldiers to go with him to the inn and surround Wusong. As a result, the gatekeeper of Ding Mansion didn't even look up to this petty rascal. I was already angry when my dream was disturbed, and I wanted to take the risk of waking up Captain Ding. A few days ago, Nyoda delivered a 13-year-old good item, and the county magistrate has been very fortunate these days. Do you know that when Captain Ding's dream is disturbed, he will kill someone? Do you dare to command the gatekeeper of the Ding family, thinking that you have spent 100 yuan on filial piety? How unreasonable. So the result was that Qian heir was careful and handed over hundreds of yuan, but he still hasn't been able to enter the door of Ding Mansion until now. You filthy and mischievous, don't bother anymore, otherwise we'll call the night patrol soldiers and punish you for violating the curfew, and cut off your head. Get lost. The gatekeeper was annoyed by the entanglement and scolded fiercely, pushing Qian heir out of the door. The door closed with a bang. Qian heir dare not strike hard. If the patrol soldiers are really summoned in the middle of the night, he will also have to face legal consequences. Qian heir looked at the front door of the Ding family and returned in frustration. Just as he took a few steps, he reached out a big hand in the dark alley and grabbed his neck, dragging him into the darkness. After a moment, Chao Gai and Wu Song walked out of the alley and touched the outside wall of the Ding family courtyard. They jumped over the wall and entered. Dingguo was sleeping soundly, holding a girl with tears in her eyes. The girl's body was covered in scars. Chao Gai opened his spiritual power and accurately found Dingguo's bedroom. He inserted a single knife into the crack of the door, moved the door bolt left and right, and quietly entered the room. Wu Song took out a torch and blew it twice. With the help of the firelight, he found the position of Dingguo and covered his mouth, about to twist his neck. Hula, the girl next to Dingguo, was already asleep. Upon hearing the commotion, she instinctively rolled over and shrunk to the corner of the bed. Did you kill them all together? Wu Song quickly extinguished the fire to prevent the girl from seeing their faces. No need, he's also a pitiful person. Chao Gai said in a deep voice. Dingguo was covered by Wu Song's mouth, wrapped around his neck, struggling with a whimper, wanting to beg for mercy. But I can't say a word. Heroes, are you going to kill this Ding Pippi? The girl at the foot of the bed went through a period of panic and said with hatred. Chao Gai didn't say much. Can I take action? My grandmother, parents, and younger brother have all been skinned and killed by Ding. I wish I could eat their flesh and sleep on their skin. But I hate myself for being powerless and struggling to survive until now. Hero, please let me take action, and in the future, I will be a cow and a horse in return. The girl's voice is soft but unusually gloomy. With a flash of fire, a sharp knife with cow ears was thrown onto the bed. There's only one chance, if it comes up, I'll kill you all. Chao Gai originally intended to quietly cut off Dingguo's head and leave. But encountering this kind of change, there is a hint of compassion in my heart. Thank you very much. The girl picked up a sharp knife and stabbed Dingguo several times in the abdomen. Woo, Dingguo's eyes were wide open and he struggled incessantly, but under Wu Song's immense strength, he was unable to move at all. The girl seemed to cry, but she persevered and suppressed it, which required great perseverance and even greater hatred. After more than 10 cuts, the girl was powerless and Dingguo had already passed away. Do you want to leave? Chao Gai asked. No need, thank you very much, Duke N. If possible, help me go to the Wuhan gang in the south of the city, burn a piece of yellow paper for Su Xiucai's family, and say, the unfilial daughter Su Xiulian has successfully avenged herself. Pushi, the sound of a short knife cutting through the throat sounded. Chao Gai and Wu Song fell silent for a moment. Silence lingers in the darkness for a long time. Chao Gai rolled up the bed and wrapped the thin and weak body of the girl, throwing it to Wu Song to carry. Draw a knife again to cut off the head of Dingguo and wrap it around the bedside clothes. The two of them remained silent and quietly left. Although it was difficult to transport the body out, Chao Gai couldn't sit idly by. Run out of Ding Mansion and arrive at a secluded place. Wu Song finally couldn't help but say, brother, why are there so many tragic injustices in the world? The court's inaction and corrupt officials' reckless behavior have made this great song sick. Chao Gai's face was also ugly. Can there be a cure? Wu Song asked. Change the world and eliminate the drawbacks. This is a goal that requires decades of hard work. Would you be willing to go with me and root out the shortcomings of the Song dynasty? Wu Song is willing. Wu Song looked eagerly at Chao Gai. Ding, Wu Song reflects on the host's aspirations, affinity +3. Chao Gai and Wu Song rushed back to the inn and met with Lu Tang and the others. Wu De breathed a sigh of relief when he saw his younger brother and Chao Gai returning safely. It's just that the Dingguo head and the girl's body are not easy to handle. I can only think of leaving the city as soon as possible tomorrow, otherwise this smell will eventually reveal its flaws. Tonight, with so many lives lost by Mr. Niu and his gang, Dingguo has died again. Can we still leave the city tomorrow? Wuhan University is somewhat concerned. Don't worry, I have my own plan. Chao Gai instructed everyone to pack up and take a nap as soon as possible. But he opened his spiritual, heavenly eye and searched for the county government office, infiltrating and easily stealing the official seal of the county magistrate. And leave a note. The official seal for fun, go to the bookstore www.jiaozuiyuan.com and don't say anything about it. Tomorrow morning, in the temple outside the city, sincerely worship the Buddha, add oil and incense. If you are sincere, you will return to the square. Thief. Wang Fugue. The next morning, the county magistrate woke up and saw this note. He flipped through the official seal and was so frightened that one Buddha ascended to heaven and two Buddhas had a nirvana, sitting on the ground with no strength. Go to Tmo Wang Fugue, you're asking me to die. Losing the official seal will result in beheading. The county magistrate is pondering the meaning of the note, as if he wants to go to Juten Temple in the west of the city to pray for blessings, add oil and incense, and then return his official seal. So he hurriedly took 100 taels of silver patterns and asked the yamen to arrange personnel to escort him outside the city to pray for blessings. As a result, the county government constables and soldiers all reported that a major incident occurred in the county town last night, with the mischievous leader Yoda and more than 30 young men killed. The county government was busy with manpower. The county magistrate angrily cursed, searching for the official seal at a critical moment. Where did he care about the case of being killed for being naughty? In the future, just give them a charge of colluding with bandits. The documents were reported, and they divided the spoils unevenly. They were investigated by the county government in one fell swoop, and when they were arrested, they resisted and were killed. Isn't that enough? Not only has it eliminated major public security cases within the county, but it can also achieve remarkable results. Then, the Ding family reported that County Captain Ding Guo was killed at home and requested the county magistrate to investigate the culprit. The county magistrate is even more angry. Which is more important, my head or the heads of your Ding family? The official seal was lost and could not be declared. The county magistrate casually responded with a few words and made a drag decision, asking all the soldiers and horses to protect him, and ran all the way to Juten Temple to pray for blessings. After the city gate opened, Chao Gai and his team led horses and goods, calmly leaving the city. In the south of the city, on the chaotic grave mound, after burying the girl, Chao Gai offered sacrifices with the head of Ding Guo and lit a stack of yellow paper. The world is too bitter, so it's better not to come to the next life. Chapter 8. Blade and Chop Wang Luan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chao Gai and his group rode slowly on the official road. As noon approached, Wu Song rode his horse and caught up from behind. Is the matter settled? Chao Gai asked. I left my friend 300 guanxian to thank him for his help for many days. I also hid the county magistrate's seal under the futon in the Sakya Mani Hall of Juten Temple. If the county magistrate really knelt down sincerely, he would find out. Wu Song responded with a smile. Leaving Qinghe County gave him a feeling of breaking through a cage, allowing birds to fly in the sky and fish to leap in the vast sea. That's good. Chao Gai nodded and said. The purpose of coming to Qinghe County this time has been successfully achieved. Wu Song, as a fierce general, has great potential and there is no need for him to endure the life of running away, losing his brother, killing his sister. Law, being wronged, and killing his first love. Wu Song deserves a better life. There is no need to know Sun Ernyang, who kills and sells meat on the cross slope. The record of being drunk and fighting against Jiang Menshan is no different from that of Gu Puzi grabbing territory and collecting protection fees. As for the title of Tiger Fighter Hero, there will still be opportunities in the future. Chao Chao, I also have the ability to change the fate of others. Chao Gai recalled his time before crossing over, filled with ambitions, but could only curl up his claws and become a harmless social animal. Where is it like this era, where one can easily seek revenge? I also have the ability to protect and change the fate of some people. Those who agree with me, Chao Gai, are my brothers. I will do my best to bring good changes to my brothers and this era. With a pleasant journey in the sun setting, Chao Gai and his team returned to Chao family manor in Dongxi village. Brother, is this your estate? It's indeed luxurious. Wu De and Wu Er were arranged to stay by their servants and side when they had a baptism banquet together. Not long after. Chao Gai smiled and said. Ah. Wu De and Wu Er are puzzled. Because soon I will be going to live in a bigger and more luxurious place. Chao Gai laughed heartily. Dongshi village is too small to fulfill one's ambitions. After the banquet, everyone gathered their energy. There was nothing to say overnight. On the 8th day of June, in the morning, Chao Gai asked Qinghe, the leader of the manors, to select 10 trusted armed manors, pick out 10 loads of gifts, and rush to Shiji village with Lu Tang and Wu Song. Wang Xiaowu from Shiji village received Chao Gai at the village entrance and welcomed him into his own village. Brother Tian Wang, Mr. Jiaoyang took my second and seventh brothers to Liangshanbo. After a moment of writing back, he said everything was going smoothly and only waited for the Tian Wang to go up the mountain. He asked me to wait for my brother's arrival at the village entrance. Wang Xiaowu briefly introduced the current situation. Afterwards, I met the wealthy man again. In the past 1 or 2 days, he transported his family's grain to Shiji village and had already loaded more than 10 ships. Okay, Xiao Wu, with someone who is good at water, will follow me on a boat to Liangshan and meet the white-clothed scholar for a while. Chao Gai didn't delay either. The group took a boat and first arrived at the entrance of the Li family road, where they saw the dry land where the hotel was located, Hulu Zhugue. Yan claimed that there were 10 ships of grain and some goods to be presented to the village leader on Liangshan. With the foreshadowing of Wu Yong and others, and the guarantee of the 3 landlords of the Wuhan family, Zhu Gui did not suspect and called out the hidden Liangshan minions in the reed marshes. He wrote a letter and asked the minions to drive a light boat to the Liangshan fortress in the water center to report. Zhu Gui killed sheep and treated all the heroes with care. It has to be said that Zhu Gui is very organized in his work. First, send someone to deliver the letter. Firstly, ask the leader Wang Luan for instructions, and secondly, give Liangshan a preparation time to welcome him. Tota Heavenly King Chao Gai is not a small character, he is a well-known name in the territory of Shandong. It is a great honor to come to Liangshan, a small village that has been established for less than a year, to worship the mountain. We cannot neglect it. It was not until noon that the light boat returned and invited Chao Gai up the mountain. After walking for about 2 hours, I saw a large island that was 200 to 300 meters high, stacked high with dense trees. A group of people landed on the golden beach and saw dozens of small minions coming down the mountain, leading them to the gate. Wang Luan led a group of leaders out of the border to welcome him. Wu Yong, Ruan Xiao, and Ruan Xiaoqi are also prominent among them. Xiao Ke Wang Luan, I have long heard of the famous Chao Heavenly King, like thunder in my ears. Today, I am delighted to visit the grass village. The white-clothed scholar Wang Luan, dressed in Confucian attire, arched his hand and smiled. My Dongshi village is not far from here, and we are also neighbors. I have heard a lot about the name, white-clothed scholar, and have looked up to it for a long time. Chao Gai laughed heartily. Pointing to the grain on the 10 boats, he said, 3,000 stones of coarse grain are offered to the village leader. Don't refuse. Xiu said so, please come to the small village for further discussion. Wang Luan's eyelids twitched. This kind of great gift is not something he can bear for no reason. He is a small copycat, afraid he cannot bear the consequences. The group arrived at the gathering hall of Dazai, and Wang Luan repeatedly humbly asked Chao Gai and his group to climb the stairs. On the right side. Chao Gai, Wu Yong, Lu Tang, Ruan Xiao, Ruan Xiaowu, Ruan Xiaoqi, Wu Song, and 7 others stand with a single character on the right side. Left main position. Wang Luan stands with Du Qian, Song Wan, Lin Chong, and Zhu Gui on the left side. Everyone sat down in front of each other. Drum up the vocal music. 2 scalpers, 10 sheep, and 5 pigs were slaughtered, and the feast was celebrated with great fanfare. During the drinking of the leaders, Chao Gai told Wang Luan and others from beginning to end about his group's robbery of the birth chart. After listening, Wang Luan was shocked for a while, hesitating and unable to speak. Du Qian and Song Wan were inexplicably shocked. They were just small thieves, and it was okay to rob some farmers and merchants. How dare you act on Liang Zhongshu, who is in charge of tens of thousands of troops in the Daming mansion. Not to mention, it was a birthday gift to the first person of the dynasty, Kai Jing and Kai Taisher. Chao Gai and these people are really bold. Only Lin Chong's gaze flickered. 2 days ago, Wu Yong went up the mountain to offer a gift and did not mention the birthday outline to Wang Luan. But he made friends with Lin Chong privately and revealed the details. When can you become a rebellious mountain bandit leader and go and kill the father and son of Gao Qiu? Perhaps only heroic figures like Chao Gaitian can help him fulfill his desire for revenge. Chao Gai continued to recount his experiences over the past 2 days. When it comes to Qinghe bull causing great harm and committing all kinds of evil, everyone gritted their teeth in hatred. When it came to Chao Gai and others killing and burning accounts, everyone applauded and cheered. When it came to Chao Gai's assassination of the school captain and the revenge of the civilian girl Su Xiulian, everyone sighed and sighed. Even Du Qian and Song Wan felt that Chao Gai acted decisively and happily. Wang Luan's face became even more embarrassed. Can such a lawless villain be suppressed by a white-clothed scholar with no binding power on his own? Do I also deserve it? So when Chao Gai proposed to join the gang, Wang Luan evaded it with a loud laugh, only saying that today was just drinking to discuss righteousness, and the main matter would be discussed tomorrow. The banquet didn't end until night, and Chao Gai and his group were arranged to rest at the gate. Brother, everything is as we expected. Wang Luan, who is jealous of the wise and capable, has indeed been hit. And Lin Chong, after my teasing these past few days, has become even more dissatisfied with Wang Luan. Tomorrow, I will use a small trick to make them reconcile. Returning to his residence, Wu Yong stroked his beard and smiled. As he was speaking, someone came to report that Lin Chong was visiting. Oh, please. Chao Gai had a good impression of Lin Chong and personally greeted him at the door. I saw Lin Chong wearing a blue scarf with a corner on his head, 2 white jade rings at the back of the head, with a beaded sideburns, wearing a one-necked green Luo Tuanhua battle robe, a leopard with a head and eyes, a swallow with tiger whiskers, a body length of 8 feet, and an age of 30.4 to 5. Name: Lin Chong, leopard head, height 188 centimeters, weight 86 kilograms, commander-in-chief 82 force 97 intelligence 63 politics 43 charm 89 affinity. Clothes, yellow, characteristic. Invincible, skilled in defense, starting with invincibility in waiting for the enemy to win. Defeating later. Divine might, suddenly attacking, stimulating a sudden increase in combat power when mentally excited. Take the initiative to attack. Skills. Spear LV5, Cavalry LV3, Knife LV4, Iron Bone LV3, Leopard Roar LV5, and Revoke LV4. OK, Fan +1, Destiny +1. Such a strong attribute, truly worthy of being an 800,000 Forbidden Army instructor. Chao Gai warmly welcomed Lin Chong into the room and sat down after a friendly gesture. I've heard of the famous coach for a long time, but I don't want to meet him today. Chao Gai arched his hand and said. Lin Chongdao said, when I was in Tokyo, I once heard from my friends in Shandong that there was a king named Tota in Yuncheng, who was loyal to the heavens. Today, I can meet your respect and fulfill my lifelong wish, so I came to accompany you. After both sides were polite, they got to the point. Today, the mountain fortress is fortunate to have many heroes here to help and support, like adding icing on the cake, like a dry seedling receiving rain. It's a pity that Wang Luan is jealous of the wise and capable, fearing that the power of various heroes will be suppressed. Seeing what his elder brother said about offending Liang Zhongshu, Kai Taisher, and killing the county magistrate, he felt a little anxious and refused to stay. He refused to stay in the pass and instead sent many heroes to rest in the pass. When Lin Chong talked about this matter, he recalled how he was also so difficult to deal with by Wang Luan when he went up the mountain, which made him extremely angry. Chao Gai said, since the leader of the king has such a heart, we won't wait for him to pay. We'll just go somewhere else. The spirit of the heroes to rest and see beyond. Lin Chong knows for himself. Xiao Ke is only afraid that the heroes may have the intention to retreat. I came early to inform you. See how he treats each other tomorrow. If this person's language is reasonable, it's not like yesterday when everything is discussed. If this guy had half a sentence of mixed words today, it would be all on Lin Chong. Lin Chong finally saw his hope for revenge and couldn't easily give up. He quickly comforted Chao Gai and others. Chao Gai said, the leader's love is so wrong, and my brothers all feel generous. If it is acceptable, we will accept it, if it is not, we will leave immediately. Don't ruin the loyalty of your copycat brothers. Lin Chongdao said, Sir, you're not good. As the ancient said, those who appreciate each other, and good men cherish good men. Measuring this man and woman, pickling livestock, what will be the end use? Heroes, please rest assured. Lin Chong stood up and bid farewell to the crowd, saying, let's meet at a young age. Everyone sent each other out. On the 9th day of June, it is easy to travel and start construction. In the early morning, a small servant arrived to invite him and said, today, the leader of the mountain village invited all the heroes to the Shannon Water Village Pavilion for a banquet. Chao Gai said, overcome the king's leader, and you will arrive shortly. Xiao Luo has gone. Wu Yong smiled and said, brother, don't worry. In this moment, we may become the masters of the Shanzhai. Today, Master Lin must have the intention of merging fire with Wang Luan. If he is a bit lazy, I can't help but merge fire with him. Brother, there are hidden weapons hidden around him. Just look at me twisting my beard as a sign, and I can work together. The leaders nodded and each brought their equipment, hiding it behind them, and went to the banquet. Everyone went to the water pavilion and sat down with guests and guests. After several rounds of wine and food offerings, Chao Gai and Wang Luan brought up the matter of going up the mountain. Wang Luan turned around and asked the minions to bring a large plate containing 5 ingots of silver. Wang Luan stood up and took the cup, saying to Chao Gai, the heroes who came here to gather here only hate that our mountain and small village is a puddle of water. How can we secure many real dragons? Let's prepare some small gifts and hope to keep smiling. If you don't want to join the big village and rest, you can have someone personally come under your command to surrender. Chao Gai pretended to be displeased and said, I have long heard that the mountains are recruiting talented people. I have come directly to entrust them to join the team. If they cannot be compatible, we will all retire on our own. I am grateful for the platinum that has been given, and I will not dare to claim it. If I dare not boast about my wealth, I may use it for some trouble. Please accept the generous gift and bid farewell. Wang Lundo said, why refuse? It's not because our mountain doesn't accept many heroes, but because our food is scarce and our houses are scarce. I'm afraid we will miss out on our fellow heroes in the future. Therefore, we dare not stay together. During the process of persuasion, Lin Chong's eyebrows parted, his eyes widened, and he sat on the chair, shouting loudly, when I came up the mountain, you also said that there was little food and scarce houses. Today, Brother Chao and all the heroes came to this mountain stronghold, and you made such words again. What's the point? Wu Yong said in a note, Leader, please calm down. It's because we didn't come here, which has ruined your reputation as a copycat. Today, the king's leader sent us a gift to go down the mountain and give us some money, but we didn't rush away. Please calm down, leader, and we will go on our own. Lin Chongdao said, this is a person who hides his sword in a smile and speaks with clear words and actions. Actually, I can't let him go today. Wang Luan exclaimed, look at this beast. You're not drunk again, you're hurting me with your words. But it's not like losing everything. Lin Chong cursed loudly and said, "You are a poor scholar who has landed on the ground and has no literature in your heart. How can you be the master of the knockoff?" Wu Yong pretended to speak to Chao Gai and said, "Brother Chao, it's only because we joined forces on the mountain that the leader's face has been tarnished. Now that we have set up a boat support, we must retire." Chao Gai and others stood up and wanted to go down from the pavilion. Wang Lunk said, "Let's eat before we leave." Lin Chong kicked the table aside with only one foot, "Hurry up and pull out a bright and sharp knife under the collar." Wu Yong touched his beard with his hand. Lu Tang and Wu Song went up to the pavilion to falsely stop Wang Luan and shouted, "Don't merge with fire." Wu Yong pretended to tug at Lin Chong and said, "Leader, you cannot cause trouble. Don't ruin our righteousness for us." Wan Xiaoer went to block Du Qian, Wan Xiaowu blocked Song Wan, and Wan Xiaoqi blocked Zhu Gui. Scared, the little ones were dumbfounded. Lin Chong grabbed Wang Luan and cursed, "You are a poor scholar from the countryside. Thanks to Du Qian, you have obtained this place. The officials of China support you like this, providing you with financial support, promoting your friendship, and recommending me to come. There are still many rejections. Today, the heroes have come together, and they want to send him down the mountain. This Liangshan uncle is yours. You, a thief who is jealous of virtue and ability, what use do you have if you don't kill him? You don't have a lot of talents, and you can't be the master of the mountain fortress." Du Qian, Song Wan, Zhu Gui, originally intended to move forward and persuade, "With these few tight helpers, I dare not move." At that time, Wang Luan also wanted to find his way, but was stopped by Wu Song and Lu Tang. Wang Luan saw that the momentum was not good and shouted, "Where are all my confidants?" Although there were a few close confidants who were about to come and save, who dared to move forward when they saw Lin Chong's fierce head. Lin Chong immediately grabbed Wang Luan and scolded him again, as he was about to kill with his knife. Suddenly, one hand grabbed Lin Chong's wrist, and Lin Chong turned back in surprise. Seeing Chao Gai, he couldn't help but say, "Heavenly King." While feeling puzzled, Chao Gai had already snatched his sharp knife into his hand and shook his head at Lin Chong, saying, "Wang Luan was originally a coward. Killing him is like killing a dog. If he doesn't keep us, then he is the enemy. All the heroes present can kill him, but you cannot." Lin Chongdao said, "Why?" Chao Gai said, "Even if Wang Luan had any objections, he would have accepted you and been kind to you. But we are different. We have no friendship with Wang Luan, and he has never helped us." After speaking, with a wave of his hand, the LV5 sword technique swung a white light and directly struck Wang Luan. Before Wang Luan's death, a thought flashed through his mind. "How could I die under such splendid swordsmanship?" Chao Gai said to Lin Chong, "Perhaps some people would say that I occupy the magpie's nest and seize people's mountain strongholds, which is unjust and unjust. I, Chao Gai, have always acted with the utmost emphasis on fairness and trustworthiness. For the sake of justice, I do not hesitate to offend the ruling elites. For the sake of loyalty, I gave up all my wealth. My act of robbing the rich and helping the poor is the right path. Wang Luan's selfish plundering of the people is an evil way. What is the moral principles of the martial arts world to talk about to evil spirits and outsiders? The essence of righteousness is that even if I have a bad reputation, I will do it openly and justly. What's wrong with taking his copycat? Teacher Lin, since you agree with me, Chao Gai, you are my friend. I don't need my friend to bear the blame for me. It's not worth it for someone like Wang Luan." Chao Gai sincerely said to Lin Chong. According to the original trajectory of zhaoshuyuan.com, although Lin Chong's killing of Wang Luan was not for his own promotion, it has always been criticized by people. Since there is an opportunity to change, Chao Gai doesn't mind taking on this cause and effect for him. Lin Chong's eyes were moist. He was a noble, calm, and strong person. He had just pretended to be reckless, angry, and speak recklessly, just for that elusive desire for revenge. Lin Chong was willing to bear the reputation of killing the leader. No one knows how much the noble Lin Chong paid and how strong his determination was to engage in such self-cleansing behavior. At the most critical moment, Chao Gai stood up for him and resolved everything for him. Lin Chong's eyes were moist, and he suddenly understood why Chao Gai was famous in Shandong and earned the title of Righteous and Cloudy Sky. Why are wise men like Wu Yong, arrogant warriors like Wu Song, Lu Tang, and Wan Shi willing to serve him? This is someone who is willing to support you even when the sky falls. Heavenly King. Lin Chong is willing to follow his brother to wield the whip and fall into the stirrups from now on, never giving up. Lin Chong knelt on one knee, tears in his eyes, and clasped his fists in salute. Upon seeing this, Wu Song drew his sword in his hand and bent down to cut off Wang Luan's head. He held it in his hand and shouted to Du Qian, Song Wan, and Zhu Gui under the pavilion, who dares to disobey. Du Qian, Song Wan, Zhu Gui, and a group of others all knelt down in fear and shouted, "We are willing to follow Brother Chao Gai's whip and fall, and we will never refuse to die. May I follow my brother's whip and kick, never give up. May I follow my brother's whip and kick, never give up." Ding, congratulations to the host for killing one leader and obtaining freedom attribute points plus 0.3. Ding, congratulations to the host for turning black and white upside down and speaking in a distorted and correct manner. However, many listeners found it reasonable and their language skills improved to LV2. Chapter 9. Internal Rectification. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. On the 10th day of the 6th month in the 5th year of Qinghe, 1115. This is the first day that Chao Gai became the ruler of Liangshan. Opening the spiritual eye scan, an invisible ripple with a radius of 1,880 meters spreads. Everyone's every move on the mountain caught the eye. Chao Gai also came up with some experiences. The destiny value comes from people's recognition of themselves. You can observe closely and scan with your mind in the distance. It's like establishing a connection with them with one's own spiritual power and leaving a mark. There are 764 small and large minions on the mountain, including 16 in green, 42 in yellow, 565 in blue, 124 in red, and 17 in black. The overall form is relatively stable, with most people being neutral in blue. Those in red who are distant from themselves should be dissatisfied with their usurpation of Wang Luan's territory, while those in black should be Wang Luan's confidants. They hate themselves to the bone. The red ones can still be saved, while the black ones can only blame their poor lives. Call Qinghe and give him some instructions. Qinghe is familiar with this kind of thing. Fans plus 58, Destiny plus 74. The isolated terrain of Liangshan Reservoir effectively prevents the leakage of secrets. This made the people of the Great Song Dynasty and the court appear upright in the eyes of outsiders. Without any hesitation, Counselor Chao sat on the throne of the village leader in the Ji Hall and began to give orders. I am in charge of Liangshan today. The previous lazy style of copying should be changed. I intend to redefine everyone's responsibilities. Chao Gai set the tone for today's meeting first. Wu Yong and other leaders said one after another, but according to my brother's orders. Chao Gai took out the plan determined after discussing with Wu Yong last night and began to arrange it one by one. The Lord of Liangshan appointed left and right military divisions to assist in handling government and military affairs. Wu Yong was appointed as the left military division and Gong Sunsheng as the right military division. Take one step forward. Chao Gai took out a mahogany waist tag and handed it over. At present, Liangshan is just starting out and the conditions are limited, so we will temporarily replace it with wooden signs. Once the goldsmith is found, the ingots will be melted and a gold seal will be engraved. Wu Yong takes orders. Wu Yong stood out, bowed, taking the waist tag with both hands. Gong Sunsheng is not in the village. He will give a plaque after going up the mountain. The other leaders congratulated one after another. Wu Yong was a childhood friend of Chao Gai, the chief confidant, and also the brain of the team. He was ranked below Chao Gai as the left army division, and no one dared to object. Gong Sun Sheng is a Taoist expert with immortal demeanor and backbone, second only to Chao Gai in age. He was also the founding hero who robbed the birth chart, and his position as the right army commander is well deserved. Chao Gai continued, Liangshan uses water berths as a barrier, and water berths prioritize naval forces. 12 naval officers on a patrol ship, with 1 patrol commander, 5 sentries form 1 team, with 1 captain, 5 teams form 1 capital, with 1 leader in the capital. Appointed Ruanshaoer as the first capital of the navy, Ruanshaowu was the second capital of the navy, Ruanshaoqi was the head of the third capital of the navy. Personnel are selected by themselves, and the list of sentry commanders and team leaders is determined by themselves, and submitted to the Left Army Division for review. Set up a camp on Jinshaden Beach, named Xuanwu. Step forward. The 3 sons of the Nguyen family showed a happy expression on their faces, flashed forward, bowed, and took the waist token with both hands. The 3 of them were originally fishermen and Mido. When they were in Shiji village, they had a group of good water companions under their command, and with the addition of the sailors and minions on Liangshan, it would take some time to gather enough people from the 3 cities. It was completely possible to set up the scaffolding first. Chao Gai continued, the navy is the barrier I guard, and the infantry is the claws I tear apart from the enemy. 6 infantry soldiers form a team, with 1 team leader, 2 groups are 1 group, with 1 group leader, 5 is 1 team, with 1 team leader, 5 teams make 1 capital, with 1 capital leader. Appoint Lin Chong as the head of the first capital. The list of team leaders, deputy leaders, and team leaders shall be determined by themselves and submitted to the Left Army Division for review. Set up a camp in the first level and bestow the title of Leopard Tao. Step forward. Lin Chong strode with his head high, bowed, and took the waist tag with both hands. As the leader of the 8000000 Forbidden Army and the former elderly man of Liangshan, Lin Chong is known as the first capital. Who is he? Is it the Leopard Tao among Jiang Taigong's 6 Taos? Leopard Tao's chest is full of old bows and swords. It is also appropriate to clash with my leopard head forest. Those who know me, the Heavenly King. Chao Gai continued, appoint Wu Song as the second commander. The names of the team leader, deputy commander, and team leader will be determined by themselves and submitted to the Left Army Division for review. Set up a camp in the back mountain and give it the nickname Huban. Step forward. Upon hearing his name, Wu Song was somewhat surprised. He had originally thought that he had just joined the company and had limited experience, so he would be arranged to become a junior leader to train for 2 years. However, he did not expect brother Chao Gai to value him so much. A warrior of the tiger's edge, brave and resolute, moving forward without hesitation. Those who are close friends die. I, Wu Song, am a commoner and a street wanderer. I was taken seriously by Chao Gai's brother and entrusted with important tasks, but I had to repay them for the rest of my life. Ding, Wu Song affinity +4, reaching full value. Chao Gai felt happy in his heart, not expecting to successfully conquer Wu Song so quickly. Other leaders also looked at Wu Song one after another, and he was appointed after Lin Chong, the leader of the 8000000 Forbidden Army. It seems that King Chao valued him very much. This Wusong has a majestic appearance and excellent martial arts skills. Cutting the head of King Luan and forcing the group of thieves to surrender is somewhat quick-witted, but it does not insult the name of Tiger Ben. I just don't know how to lead troops. Lin Chong secretly compared himself with Wu Song, preparing to compete with him. Lu Tang was secretly anxious, why hasn't my uncle named me yet? Chao Gai smiled and continued, appoint Lu Tang as the head of the third capital. The personnel will mainly be guests from the Chao family, and the names of the gang leader, deputy leader, and team leader will be determined by themselves and submitted to the Left Army Division for review. Set up a camp in the military stronghold of Liangshan, and give it the nickname Beiwei. Step forward. Lu Tang was secretly pleased and quickly approached, bowing and taking the waist tag with both hands. Although this third city ranks third, it is mainly composed of Chao family members, who are clearly guarding their own army. Uncle really trusts me the most. After a while, get close to the head of the manor, Chen Wei, and deceive all the manors in his hands who are skilled in using simple knives to serve. Du Qian, Song Wan, and Zhu Gui exchanged glances with each other, feeling uneasy and unsure of how to arrange themselves. Chao Gai continued, the above are military leaders responsible for combat. The following are the leaders of the internal affairs, responsible for Liangshan government affairs. There are 6 divisions in total. Fu Bo, the leader of the Internal Affairs Department, Kai Shu, the leader of the Finance Department, Zhu Gui, the leader of the Confidential Department, Du Qian, the leader of the Construction Department, Song Wan, the leader of the Welcome Department, and Wu Ji, the leader of the Commerce Department. Step forward. Du Qian, Song Wan, and Zhu Gui secretly breathed a sigh of relief. Although they lost their military power, they finally managed to secure some positions and were not completely marginalized. As the saying goes, one emperor, one courtier. After Wang Luan's death, these remnants of the old era, who were not liquidated by Chao Gai, were already considered generous and dared not compete for power. Quickly bow forward to collect the waste token. Only Wu Song was surprised, not expecting his brother Wu De to also secure a leadership position. Is brother Tian Wang looking at my Wu Song's face? From childhood to adulthood, it's all my own fault. My older brother takes care of me, but my small body is like a towering tree sheltering me from the wind and rain. Now that my younger brother has something serious to do, I will never cause trouble for him again, and he has his own career. These are all brought by brother Tian Wang, but we must remind him to do his best to serve him in the future. In fact, Chao Gai arranged for Wu De to take on the leadership position not solely based on Wu Song's face, but because he believed that Wu Dalong might really have some commercial talent. In the difficult era of the late Northern Song dynasty, many people were poor and had nothing. But as a dwarf-disabled person, Wu Dalong can rely on his diligent hands to raise his younger brother from a young age and save a lot of savings to buy a 2-story building on the street. This fully demonstrates that Wu Dalong has his own business experience. He only earns what he can. Do not do anything beyond one's ability. A little makes a lot, and one can also buy a house and marry a wife. Wu Dalong is also very shrewd and observant. The 4 green hat kings of water margin. Song Jiang, Yang Xiong, Lu Junyi, and Wu De. Only Wuhan University discovered the affair on its own and successfully caught it in bed. Unfortunately, catching traitors was beyond his ability, and his strength was too low, so he was punished by someone. Wu Dalong's character is also excellent, and he has many similarities with Wu Song. Liangshan cannot always rely on plunder for a living, and there will always be a day when the plundered timeline will be used up. It is still necessary to explore one's own financial path. For future business, Chao Gai has high expectations, and Wu Dalong may be a good candidate. Give it a try, if it doesn't work out, change it again. There is a cost of trial and error for oneself. After the appointment was completed, Wu Yong took the lead in standing out, with civil and military officials on both sides, each holding a high incense stick. Today, we hereby appoint Chao Gai, the Heavenly King of Tota, as the Lord of Liangshan. We sincerely kneel and worship without any hesitation. If we violate this oath, the 5 thunders will be destroyed. Wu Yong took the lead, and all the generals knelt down on one knee, reciting, Lord Feng Tian, kneel sincerely in worship without any hesitation. If you violate this oath, the 5 thunders will be destroyed. Respected incense. Wu Yong took the lead, and everyone sequentially inserted Gao Xiang into the incense burner in the Ji hall. Chao Gai exclaimed in a high voice, "I, Chao Gai, value justice and righteousness the most. Today, all the wise brothers worship me as the Lord, and I also treat them as close relatives. This situation should be witnessed by heaven and earth. Everyone follows me in reciting sharing blessings and facing difficulties together. Liver and gallbladder complement each other, heat and blood share the same territory. Never part, never give up, no illness, no injury. Remember the oath, the heavens are above without hesitation." The generals recited loudly, sharing blessings and facing difficulties together. Liver and gallbladder complement each other, heat and blood share the same territory. Never leave, never give up, no illness, no injury. Remember the oath, the heavens are above, the oath has been fulfilled. Ding, Wuhan shower is grateful for the host's friendship, and the affinity has increased to 89. It meets the conditions for people's acceptance. Ding, Wuhan Xiaowu is grateful for the host's friendship, and the affinity has increased to 87. It meets the conditions for people's acceptance. Ding, Wuhan Xiaoqi is grateful for the host's friendship, and the affinity has increased to 91. It meets the conditions for people's acceptance. Ding, Lin Chong is grateful for the host's friendship, and the affinity has increased to 94. It meets the conditions for people's acceptance. Ding, Du Qian is afraid of the host's authority, and his affinity has risen to 59. He lacks the conditions for popular acceptance. Ding, Song Wan is afraid of the host's authority, and his affinity has risen to 58. He lacks the conditions for popular acceptance. Ding, Zhu Gui is afraid of the host's authority, and his affinity has risen to 57. He lacks the conditions for popular acceptance. 4 wisps of white smoke drifted out of the crowd, blending into Chao Gai. Wuhan shower, Lin Chong and others felt a warm current flowing through their bodies, their pores opening up and their bodies feeling comfortable, with an indescribable gaze hanging in the sky. All eyes showed a surprised expression, and looking at the clear expressions of Wu Yong, Lu Tang, and Wu Song, it was obvious that they had already experienced it. Unexpectedly, the Heavenly King has really been noticed by the heavens. Perhaps this is our brother's fate. The 3 sons of the Wuhan family were delighted in their hearts. Lin wandered in the martial arts world, finally waiting for the Ming Lord. There is hope for revenge. Lin Chong was overjoyed and even had the urge to send someone back to Tokyo to bring his wife and father-in-law's family to live together. Raise your head 3 feet to have a deity, raise your head 3 feet to have a deity. Du Qian, Song Wan, and Zhu Gui were even more in awe and trembling. Ding, feel the host's divine power. Du Qian has an affinity of +10, Song Wan has an affinity of +9, and Zhu Gui has an affinity of +13. Meet the conditions for popular consumption. 3 wisps of white smoke drifted out of the 3 people's heads and merged into Chao Gai. Oh, I thought it would take more effort to tame Wang Luan's old faction. It seems that I am indeed destined by fate. Chao Gai nodded secretly. After calculation, I have already earned +349 points per month of destiny value income. Converted to a previous life, it was also a high income of 349 yuan per month. Damn it. It seems that in the future, we should manage our Liangshan territory well, increase the happiness of our subordinates, and squeeze them into the ranks of monthly subsistence allowances. The personnel appointment and oath have been completed. The leaders each fulfill their respective duties. Shipbuilding, recruitment, and manpower dispatch. Order the Chao family members to migrate to Liangshan. 2 days passed in a blink of an eye. On June 12, Lu Tang and Chen Wei led Beiwei camp out. On June 14, Beiwei camp brought back several people in luxurious clothing. Uncle, according to your instructions, our team set up 3 ambushes on the necessary route from Tokyo to Jeju Prefecture, and finally arrived at this group of dog thieves. They are the trusted subordinates of Kai Jing's old thief's mansion. The so-called government officials refer to the kind of butlers in high-ranking government offices, who cannot be considered officials. But the 7th-rank officials in front of the Prime Minister's gate, let alone the confidants of high-ranking officials. So when the government reaches the local level, local officials are all trying to curry favor. No need to ask in detail, Chao Gai also guessed what Kai Jing's mansion was doing in Jeju Prefecture. It's nothing more than urging and intimidating the governor of Jeju to solve the case as soon as possible. After catching them, Lu Tang had already tortured them and thoroughly investigated their situation. "Uncle, this is their identity document. There is also a handwritten letter from the old thief Kai Jing." Lu Tang presented the found items. "Okay. With this item, we can make a fortune again." Chao Gai touched his prickly beard and smiled. In fact, many times, with mental calculation and unpreparedness, there is no direction but disadvantage. Since I know that the old thief Kai Jing is going to send his confidant to supervise the case in Jeju Prefecture, and the road from Kaifeng to Jeju Prefecture is just that. Pay attention to the Kaifeng accent at the inn, dress beautifully, and have no cargo or luggage. I am likely to come to Jeju Prefecture for business. In order to prevent accidental arrest, Lu Tang also set up 3 layers of defense lines, tested twice, and after confirming everything was correct, he was captured in one fell swoop, severely tortured, and said everything. Chao Gai is preparing to deceive a group of sheep with the power of a fox pretending to be a tiger. Half a day later, Chao Gai summoned all the heroes to the Juyi Hall for discussion. "Ladies and gentlemen, how do you think I shaved my beard?" The ancients also emphasized the importance of taking care of parents when their bodies recur, and did not dare to lightly destroy them. Chao Gai, who has traveled through time, is not afraid of these things. After enjoying Lu Tang's exquisite shaving service, Chao Gai took a photo in front of the bronze mirror, his face white and handsome. Although Chao Gai is already 30.6 years old, his constant practice of martial arts has made him full of courage and vitality, without any signs of aging. With the addition of system bonuses, it showcases even more heroism and vigor. Now wearing a white shirt and holding a folding fan. Just like the talented scholar who visited the Bianliang River. It is obvious that from the silent expressions of everyone, it seems that they do not quite agree with Chao Gai's boasting. "Brother, why don't we change our style? This charming scholar's style doesn't quite match yours." Wu Yong politely advised Chao Gai not to create a scholarly persona. "Is this young master tall or not?" Chao Gai spread his hands and measured his own height. 8 feet tall, equivalent to modern measurement of 189 centimeters, in this era where 7 feet tall is the mainstream, no matter what, one must say. Big guy. Lin Chong and Wu Song are only a few centimeters taller than themselves. But touching Tian Song Qian and Yunli Jingang Du Wan, who were both 9 feet tall and over 2 meters tall, they went to Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com, but their appearance was too ugly, so Chao Gai ignored them. "Hi." Everyone nodded in unison. "Is this young master handsome?" Chao Gai continued to ask. With a face that resembled LV Liangwei, he was able to dominate the late Qin dynasty with a short beard, and even after shaving his beard, he could dominate the Shanghai beach. "Isn't this handsome enough?" "Handsome," everyone said with a serious expression. "Does this young master have a lot of money?" Although Chao Gai is a local tycoon, his family is also wealthy. "Many." Everyone nodded one after another. Liang Shan was all his, who could have more money than him. "Since I have all 3 qualities. Tall, handsome and rich, Pan LV and Deng Xiaoxian can also hold on to 4. How can I not be called a charming young master?" Chao Gai smiled and said. If Wang Luan had such a majestic brother, even a scholar might be able to kill 7 in and 7 out, and leave gracefully, he would naturally be called charming. However, those people are vulgar and may not understand. Wu Song held the position of reverence for Chao Gai. "My elder brother has a majestic appearance and a strong physique, constantly exuding arrogance and domineering aura. I am not skilled in disguise, so it is difficult to conceal my elder brother's heroic spirit and dress up as a weak scholar. Wu found it difficult to disguise himself with the LV3. Heavenly King brother, Dong Changyan, the governor of Jeju, came from two successful candidates. He thought to himself, you may have a sense of comparison when you see your brother, but you may lack fear, which is not conducive to our plan. Lin Chong also spoke out to persuade. Stop it, then let's change to a more arrogant and domineering character. When you come to the capital, you need to be full of momentum and intimidate the old governor. Chao Gai changed into a gorgeous brocade robe, with a precious jade necklace hanging from his waist and a curved mouth. The 3-day period has arrived, and it's time to respectfully welcome me out of the mountain. Chapter 10. Butterfly Effect. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Bai Sheng has been a bit unlucky lately. Since that night, he has been carrying a load of treasure home. Proud of showing off to his wife, the cowardly woman collapsed to the ground in fear. Bai Sheng suddenly realized that his wealth was a bit hot. A lazy man with little ability suddenly gained more than 10,000 guan of treasure. It makes him feel very insecure. Although Anil village is a village, due to its proximity to Jeju city, the flow of people is quite high. There is an inn, 7 or 8 restaurants, and countless gambling stalls in the dark. It can be said that it is the largest gathering place for thugs around the city of Jeju. In recent days, there have been folk rumors that a group of strong men have robbed the birth chart of 100,000 guan near Huangnigang. Attracted countless mischievous rascals eager to get a share of the pie, if they knew they had such money. Bai Sheng was covered in a cold sweat, and a feeling of helplessness surged throughout his body. Bai Sheng was so scared that he dug a 3-foot deep pit under the bed overnight, threw the treasure into it without pulling it, and filled the pit for burial. Startled and frightened, I dug a hole and sweated for a while. The cold wind blew in the early morning. Bai Sheng had a fever and was lying in bed sweating. I'm really stupid, really. I just wanted to go home early, but forgot that there are more wolves, tigers, and leopards in my hometown who want to share my flesh and blood. I knew I wouldn't have taken so much money, even if I had given up half of my wealth to invest in Chao Baozheng. I could still live a peaceful life. Bai Sheng has been sick these past few days and has said this more than once. If you had known today earlier, why did you have to go back then? You don't have the wisdom to conquer the heavens, let alone the power to run horses with your arms. Why bother to join in that killing business? We are just ordinary people, and it's not good to live some ordinary lives. Bai Sheng's mother-in-law Lu complained while changing the handkerchief on his forehead. I'm just poor for a lifetime. But I can't let you be poor with me for a lifetime. We can't let our children continue to be poor for a lifetime. Bai Sheng did not regret participating in Chao Gai's actions. It's rare to bet on a big treasure in life, but the fact proves that you bet right. Unfortunately, I am too weak to keep this wealth. In fact, Bai Sheng's health has improved a lot these days, but he dare not get out of bed. He wants to take advantage of his illness to stay at home for a longer period of time and low-key to avoid this trend. It will get better in the future. If it doesn't work out, we'll just eat bran and swallow vegetables for a lifetime, and dig them out when our children grow up. Bai Sheng said bitterly. Child, you lazy cow is tired and lazy every day, not plowing the land. Where did you come from, child? Lu complained. Cough cough, cough cough, I'm still sick, let me rest, let me rest. Bai Sheng covered his head with a blanket and quickly changed the topic. Lu gave him a white eye, cleaned up the house, and went out to wash clothes. But there was a smile on the corner of his mouth as he met a lazy man like Bai Sheng, who was both lewd and fond of gambling. But in the end, he is still someone who knows the cold and the heat. Moreover, it will get better in the future, and there is finally a hope in life. Seeing hope in a difficult life is the greatest motivation for people to continue living. My sister-in-law is going out to do laundry again. Is my by family elder brother still sick? A tall and upright scholar with a white face and a slight beard asked, as if intentionally or accidentally. Lu looked up and saw that it was a newly hired accountant at the Wang family inn in the village. He had been helping the inn copy documents and calculate income for the past half-month. Being able to do abacus and write, tall and clean, standing out among mischievous thugs is like standing out in the crowd. Nature is the focus of idle discussions among the 3 aunts and 6 aunties in the village. It is said that he also has connections within the city of Jeju, with a legitimate brother working as a clerk in the yamen, overseeing the arrest of half of the city. So the thugs and ruffians around him also gave him a fair face. Lu naturally heard of this person from everyone. It seems that his surname is himTen. I've already sweated a bit, but my body is weak and not doing well yet. Lu readily agreed. My older brother Bai is the same. He left his sister in law with such a virtuous and unloving attitude, staying away for several days without any news. After finally coming back, he fell ill again. It's really not worth it for sister in law. Qinghewu had a pink face, a smile on his face, and a caring expression on his face, every sentence considering the woman. If it were any other nostalgic woman, maybe she took the opportunity to chat. But Lu was honest and upright, feeling that something was wrong in his heart, and he didn't know where it was wrong. So he lowered his head silently and walked away quickly. The smile on Qinghe's face instantly cooled, and he stared coldly at Lu Shi's back as he watched her leave. Turning his head again, he looked at the Baisheng family door, his eyes showing greed. Chao Gai pretended to be a jujube merchant, while Baisheng walked with 2 loads of vinegar. Then there was a rumor circulating that a group of jujube vendors on the nearby Huangnagang had turned people over and robbed their birthday gang of the sleeping pills. Although the victim has not yet reported the case. The government has not yet started investigating. But how could there be such a coincidence in the world? 9 out of 10, the matter of the birth chart is true. If Baisheng had participated, he would have surely shared a lot of treasure. I have been tinkering for many days, and one of the Bai couple pretended to be sick and the other pretended to be deaf and mute. It's obvious that I'm feeling guilty. It was only by chance that I met Chao Gai in the entire Anil village, and only then did I realize how to break through his disguise. It's my turn to make this unique fortune. I can't afford to offend Chao Gai, can't I still hold on to you, Baisheng? Qinghe sneered in his heart and decided to cheat them again at night. He was not afraid that the couple would not behave obediently, so that the slut could kneel down and beg me then. Play the drums tightly and slowly, stop and stop the drums to listen to singing. All kinds of idle talk also sings, and I have sung 18 touch before. Qinghe hummed a tune and walked leisurely away with square steps. Lu was washing clothes with a heavy heart, and the more she thought about it, the more she felt something was wrong. I am not a beautiful young lady, let alone a newly married woman who is as familiar as a peach. I am just a village maid with a decent appearance. Qinghe, who has oily hair and noodles, has been appearing around him every day these days. Perhaps he has a unique taste and is interested in me. This won't work, I still have to abide by women's laws. When Lu thought of this, she didn't feel in the mood to wash her clothes anymore. She rubbed and kneaded them a few times, picked up the washing basin, and hurried home to tell Baisheng about her discovery. And blame Baisheng for not having such a good eye. No. Then Qinghe is not targeting you, but our family's money. After hearing Lu's description, Baisheng immediately became alert. On the evening of the 2nd day of June, Chao Bao was staying overnight at the Wang family inn, while Qinghe was keeping an account at the counter. I'm afraid he might have noticed something. He's been tinkering around these days, probably confirming how much treasure I've distributed. Baisheng's years of being a thug were not for nothing, with a weight of 100 pounds and a heart of 50 pounds. What should I do? Lu Shi was just a rural woman, and she immediately became anxious when she encountered something. Don't worry for now. Let's not mess around on our own. As long as Chao Baojing doesn't have any problems, we will bite him to death and refuse to recognize him. If others can't find the property, there's nothing they can do about us. Bai Xing comforted his wife casually, but his body inside the blanket became increasingly trembling. He once met several tomb raiders and fought several times. If one finds wealth through a fight, the tomb owner can still leave a peaceful place. If the fight fails, one often destroys the coffin to vent their anger. These scoundrels and scumbags won't provide any evidence. If he really tore his face but didn't hold any treasure, Bai Xing seemed to have anticipated how the angry and embarrassed opponent would vent their anger. I'm really stupid, really. Chao Tianwang is so righteous that he never hesitated to share my vast wealth. But I'm afraid he'll regret it, so I'll run away quickly. Now that wolves are around, I can't help but seek the protection of the Tianwang. Bai Xing sighed and said. Upon hearing this, Lu's eyes lit up and he said, let's escape. Escape to Chao Baojing Manor, even if we become a banker in the future. You said that Chao Baojing is so kind and righteous, he will definitely treat us well. No way. Bai Xing shook his head and said, now that we are being targeted, if we go to seek refuge with King Chao now, wouldn't it be obvious that we are leading the trouble to King Chao? We will flee overnight when we see treasure, and when we encounter disaster, we will go to seek refuge. I, Bai Xing, need to recognize the word loyalty. And even if we escape, can we really run through? Bai Xingxin said. I didn't say this to my daughter. In law, but it added to my shock and was of no use. The Bai couple worried for a whole day, but still couldn't come up with a way to break the deadlock. I'm so stupid, really. At night, light oil lamps. Lu prepared the food and the two sat at the table. Pada, a fist-sized stone was thrown into the yard and smashed through the wall onto the window. There is a yellow paper wrapped around this stone. Lu held an oil lamp and inspected the yard before returning with a stone. Bring it to me for a look. Bai Xing usually does some small business, sells wine and vinegar, and also knows a few common words. Hiss. After reading the yellow paper, I took a deep breath and saw 4 big characters on it. I know it all. Bold and plain characters, Bai Xing knows all of them. I was indeed targeted. Is the other party going to have a showdown? The confirmed speculation in his heart made him anxious and uneasy. The Bai family and his wife ate the food as if chewing wax. Another hour passed, and the couple prepared to blow out the lights to sleep. Pada, another stone was thrown into the yard, passed through the wall, and hit the window. Also, there is a yellow paper wrapped around the stone. I saw 4 big characters above. I'm coming. Bastard, this guy. Bai Xing was being pressed step by step, feeling mentally anxious and wanting to be caught in a trap. However, his small body and low level of force made his desperate attempt seem ridiculous. Doo-doo, after a moment, there was a knock on the door. Bai Xing waved his hand and asked Lu to hide inside the house. He put on his clothes, held up an oil lamp, walked through the yard, and opened the wooden door at the entrance. I'm here. Amidst the flickering oil lamp, Qinghe's face was revealed with visible oil, and the flames flickered in his greedy pupils. What do you want? Bai Xing blocked the door and puffed up his brave airway. Talking inside the house. Qinghe said coldly. Right here, if you have anything to say, just say it. Seeing that there was only Qinghe outside, Bai Xing gained some courage. Do you really want everyone to know what you've done on Huangnigang? Let's talk inside the house. Qinghe pressed forward step by step, pushing Bai Xing away and entering the courtyard. What are you doing in a daze? Close the door, enter the house. Qinghe gives orders like a master. Bai Xing hesitated for a moment, but in the end, he didn't dare to shout or scream. He followed obediently into the house, killing the fish and breaking the net. Take out all the money. Qinghe confidently said. He didn't ask where the money was. I didn't ask how much money there is. With so much preparation, it was to create an illusion for Bai Sheng that he knew everything, so he immediately asked Bai Sheng to take out the money. Young master I. Bai Shenggang wanted to argue, but was slapped in the face by He Qing. Pop. Call me Lord He. My brother He Tao is the arresting officer of the 3 capitals of the city, with 300 officials under his command. Which thug in the city is not under my brother's control and begging for food? Which rascal doesn't know me, He Qingdaming? What kind of garlic are you pretending to be? He Qing used his power to suppress others and shouted in a low voice, take it out. You and Chao Gai are bold and reckless, even daring to touch the things of Grand Tutor Kai. If he finds out, not only will you die, but your mother-in-law will also die, and all 3 of you will be implicated. Even after death, you cannot enter the temple, and you will have to be a lonely soul wild ghost in your next life. Dalong, as ordinary people, we can't compete with officials. Give it to him and treat it as a waste of wealth to avoid disaster. Lu was the first to collapse. She doesn't want to be involved in her mother's family as well. Lord He, if I hand over the treasure, can you really spare our husband and wife's lives? Bai Sheng has seen many unethical things, but now he is forced to jump into the river. Even if it is a straw, he wants to catch it and save himself. Who gave you the courage to question me? Kneel down and talk to me. He Qing saw that Bai Sheng and his wife had become even more submissive. Seeing their husband and wife kneeling obediently, I felt that I had properly suppressed them. Today's scam was a great success. Let the couple work together to dig out the treasure under the bed. Seeing thousands of gold, silver, and jewelry, He Qing's eyes straightened. Fortunately, I didn't let anyone know about it, nor did I tell my greedy brother. Otherwise, wouldn't this money be divided equally among him? Lord He, our treasure has been sacrificed. Please spare our husband and wife's lives. We will leave immediately and never come back. We will keep it a secret, and no one will know that the money is with you. Bai Sheng took the opportunity to say. He Qing withdrew his gaze and smiled kindly, saying, I always keep my word when I speak. But you don't need to leave, I just want money. But to prevent you from leaking information, I need to make a fool of you for a day. After speaking, he instructed Bai Sheng to first tie up his wife and then tie Bai Sheng. Give them a stinky sock in the middle of the race. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha, he. He Qing suppressed a deep and continuous smile, with a twisted expression on his face. Seeing He Qing's expression, Bai Sheng felt a bit uneasy and wanted to struggle, only to realize that he was too tightly bound. I often hear butchers say, pig grass buns, sheep heroes. Because when pigs are killed, they will struggle violently and howl incessantly. When the sheep were killed, they basically remained silent. Actually, if you ask me, the sheep are not called heroes, they are called fools. Being led to death step by someone, one may still hold a chance before death, and the owner will let themselves go. You husband and wife are like those foolish sheep, searching for the Shuyuan www.zhaoshuyuan.com and walking step by step into death, even tying yourself up in the end. He, this wealth is too amazing. If I want to enjoy it alone, I cannot let others know, and the most confidential thing is only the dead. Be smart in your next life. As he spoke, He Qing pulled out a sharp ox-ear knife from his waist and stabbed it at Bai Sheng, whose face was filled with tears. Pushi. A waist knife pierced through the door, causing He Qing to feel a chilling sensation. Talking for a while, saying that others are stupid sheep, aren't you like a pig waiting to be slaughtered? Lu Tang walked in, drew a knife, and ended up with He Qing. He shook his hand and raced into the newly dug pit under the bed. Chao Gai also stepped in and waved his knife to untie Bai Sheng and his wife. Heavenly King, I am so foolish, really. The villain is willing to offer all his treasures, please protect me. Although I don't know why Chao Gai suddenly arrived, the grace of saving his life was like a reconstruction. Bai Sheng was greatly surprised and burst into tears, crying and hugging Chao Gai's leg. If it weren't for arriving a day earlier, there might have been an accident. Chao Gai and his group disguised themselves as Kai Jing's family and missed the time to enter the city, so they wanted to temporarily stay in Anil village. Unexpectedly encountering unexpected things. Qinghe did not repay his brother Tao, but instead thought of going it alone. Chao Gai instructed his subordinates to overnight send Bai Sheng and his wife to Yangshan for resettlement. As for their treasures, of course it won't be accepted. Keep Bai Sheng and his treasure, that's the best propagandist for my Chao Tian king's righteousness and loyalty to the heavens. At the same time, it's also buying horse bones for thousands of dollars. As long as you follow me, Chao Gai, even guys like Bai Sheng can get rich. Heroes, what are you waiting for? Fans +2, Destiny +4. Alas, they have a conscience as a couple.